and the center of the student opposition to the government. In the following years, Sowore led dozens of demonstrations in support of democracy, like this one at the National University Games in 1998. What started with chanting outside the gates ended up with the entire student body rallying on the field against the military leadership. At the center of it all was Omoyele Sowore. This was not the kind of message the military welcomed. As the crowds dispersed, Sowore was arrested and imprisoned for 2 weeks.
I don't come again. I did Nigeria like this. You know, say, light. Now the first thing where God himself creates before he start work. Because if light no day, info no fit work. So why we no fit get light for Nigeria? People they fight this, that. And they tell some people where they drink, say they fight for politicians, they want to kill themselves. As if one person fit arrange like 10 planes, pack all these our area boys where they carry politicians for head, make they all travel. Not be Europe, just South Africa. Plane pack, make all the area boys come down. Day one day. Make they see how people they live for other country. When they come back, now they will beat all the politicians. You get why? That is why when you see a country where government don't feed the people, now two set of people, the rich or the masses, you hardly see the middle class. Now the masses where they believe in the poor people, they'll share themselves into two, those who believe in God and those who believe in themselves, which is called survival of the fittest. Now those ones who believe in God will now say, okay, more face religion. That's why you see say some pastors where they don't use the gullible ones that they scratch ground. Why those who believe in themselves now, you can see say the rate of prostitution go high and the rate of stealing pants go high because they won't survive at the end of the day. Election don't come again. What would they wise? Oh, would they wise? You get why?
Here's a new song I want to spring on y'all tonight. Take it home where you spread it around. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. That's what election day is all about. And the biggest gun we got is called the ballot box. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. And when they're gone, we'll sing and dance and shout. And she'll bring some new ones in, and they will start the show again. And if you don't like who's in there, vote them out. And if it's a bunch of clowns you voted in, election day is coming around again. If you don't like it now, you can change it anyhow. And if you don't like who's in there, vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. And when they're gone, we'll sing and dance and shout. We'll start the show again and bring some new ones in. And if you don't like who's in there, vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. And when we're done, we'll sing and dance and shout.
I can assure you that in our position here today, let me inform you that it is either we do the music no retreat. If you want to follow me, we want to talk about the value of Abiola as his legitimate children. We immortalize Chief Abiola and that is why we are here. We are not hoodlums, we are not cows, we are not vagabonds, but we are responsible intellectuals in this country.
Omoyele Sowore is a Nigerian citizen journalist who has a history of openly opposing his country's government. So much so that he says he's been detained several times and endured many police beatings. Now a world away in New York City, Sowore uses the internet to continue writing about corruption in his country's politics. Adeola Oladele met up with Sowore and filed this report.
There's a place on the internet where anyone can read about the good, the bad, and the ugly in Nigerian politics. SaharaReporters.com was created by Omoyele Sowore, a self-trained citizen journalist. Although he's a Nigerian citizen, he says his country considers him persona non grata.
The government doesn't recognize that I have enough rights to travel into Nigeria like every regular Nigerian because I dare to be different from everybody.
To him, being different means writing to expose corruption and injustices in his country. Omoyele says his website gets more than 1 million page views every month. Some of the stories receive more than 100 comments.
But the reason why the word Sahara came was for a few reasons. One, because I'm fascinated by geographical features, being a geography graduate myself. And secondly, I just looked at it and said, since I'm not a journalist, I'm just like a practitioner of this trade inside the desert where there's really not much hope for success. But I'm going to do it regardless, which means that I'm taking on a challenge that I have no idea how far it will go.
Taking up a challenge is not a new thing for the 38-year-old. He was the president of the student union while a student at Lagos State University in Nigeria. During his tenure, he led thousands of students in rallies against military rule and injustices.
This powerful group will also march along with them.
I had suffered immense torture as a student activist who had protested against the military. I haven't been detained, beaten up by the police and the military.
In 1999, he found a way to fly to the US. Then he went on to get a degree in international and public affairs at Columbia University. In 2005, he launched SaharaReporters.com. He also posts the articles on Facebook and Twitter.
Yes, man. How are you? I was trying to check up on a particular record of an individual who probably had a rape case over there.
You know, what I just did was to invite all my friends and say, do you have any news? Do you have any information about what's going on in Nigeria? And they say, how do we write it? They said, send me a text message or talk to me on the phone, and I'll sit down and write stories. Then look for some other friends and say, can you edit this story for me, you know?
Omoyele soon faced the challenges of being a publisher. In 2008, he wrote an article that questions the tie between the Nigerian Attorney General and a Nigerian lawyer, Paul Ohi. Ohi sued him for libel and $25 million. That case was later dismissed. And that's not all.
I've had to give up more of my freedom in terms of being able to go to Nigeria. Even in terms of being able to move freely around, because as some of these reports became more powerful, challenges the status quo, and there's been a lot of threats.
His major challenge now is having enough financial support for the website. However, he says he'll find a way to continue because of what he believes.
If you solve Nigeria's problem, myriads of political, social, and cultural problems, it will just infect the rest of Africa almost instantly. And this is what I think the rest of the world doesn't understand about Nigeria.
The population of Nigerians that are young is 70% of our population today. And these are people who have been left out of the political process. They have been left out of the financial system. They have been left out of our economic system. They have been deprived of education, health. They've been deprived of opportunities. And we are representing them to take the country back from the people who have done this. Gentlemen, we cannot continue to reward people whose only career has been to fail Nigerians from time to time within the political circles. It is time for people who have the capability, who have the ability, who have the exposure, and also the capacity to run this country. The old people who have very, very grandiose but unworkable ideas have run this country to the ground. And young people like us who have always fought for what is right for the last 30 years have come together and said it is time to push out the old people. And that is the message I briefly described upstairs. That you see them, they are still going from conference to conference with old people, whereas the young people have determined and decided how they want to move forward. These guys are going to find out by February 17, 2019, that this country have moved beyond, this kind of symposium and conferences, because we have moved into the digital world where they are still in the analog era.
Mr. President,
yes.
There are accusations that some of you in this smaller party, as you describe a party upstairs, they are pretenders, they are not contesting for anything.
I am not one of them. You know my history. I was the person who started an online newspaper known as Sahara Reporters 12 years ago, and that was what opened the eyes of everybody in this country to the political shenanigans, the financial malfeasance that had become the order of the day. This platform helped put politicians in jail like Ibori. It helped to expose a lot of scams. It helped to make the 2015 election transparent. And we weren't working for anybody then. In 2010, when Yar'Adua and his people were holding the country to ransom, it was this same platform that helped to bring a minority to become the president of Nigeria. And at that time, there was no ethnicity, there was no religion, there was no relationship. It was pure-hearted intervention in politics. That's what I am to today. Maybe there are other political parties that are working for these parties. Of course, PDP can boast of 35 of those political parties. They were part of the coalition known as COP. So I wasn't part of COP, so you know them and you can recognize them when you see. But our position and messaging is very clear. We are for the betterment of this country. We are about moving this country not to the next level, but the highest level. The media needed to wear his conscience at this time, not to be looking for money. The money that the big political parties or the legacy parties are giving you, they were not monies that they made them. They were money stolen from the public. You have a duty to cover people who have messages and not people who have money. That is what we are saying.
The media is not particularly for the media. You sounded very confident that you're going to win. And you admitted that the media is even biased to you. What is that thing that is pushing you?
Because the media, just like they did in the past, they are not talking to the real people. You are still talking to the talking heads in the society, and they are becoming fewer and fewer and less influential. I have been in the media too. You know that. I warned the media several years ago that their relevance and influence is going to wane based on their greed. And that's exactly what happened in 2015. That is why the entire media in this country could not report who won the election until after INEC started reporting. Don't forget, and I'm going to remind you guys in the media, while you all guys were sitting in Kogi State and the candidates who won the election had died, you couldn't report it because the media wasn't prepared for that kind of style of reporting. It was Sahara Reporters that broke the news of Aldo's death, you remember? And all the media people were there. We, for example, were in Kano a few days ago, and we had a massive rally. The media did not report it. When I arrived in Nigeria from the US, I think a few days ago, and there was massive event at the airport, the media did not report it. But you are reporting somebody who is in Dubai, on holiday, Atiku. You are reporting the president who did not physically attend the rally in Kano. So this is what we are talking about. You are not reporting what the society needs. You are reporting what you think the society should hear. And you guys are my colleagues. I cannot lie to you. You are failing the society if you are not giving us.
From other people who are in the power, what will you do differently? Win the election?
We have made it very clear that we will tackle security, not the way they are tackling it now. I was the first person to suggest that army generals are making a big deal out of Boko Haram and insurrection or the insecurity, that it has become a business. I made a pronouncement that we fire all the military generals in this country. Everybody said I was crazy about a month ago. Now, by today, everybody in this country is saying that they should fire all the generals because of what's happening. Because Boko Haram has become a big business in the country. So we're going to do that differently. We are going to provide electricity, and we're in the northern part of the country today where we can use solar energy to provide over 4,500 megawatts of electricity. That will provide jobs for about 2 million young people in this part of the world. It will also provide electricity that is needed so that we can have 24/7 electricity. We have said we are going to take 13 million kids out of the streets by spending 100,000 naira each on a child to go back to school, so that there will not be people who are begging with bowls on Kano, in Sokoto, in Lagos. That is our plan for the country. We have said that we will pay 100,000 naira to as minimum wage as workers. The media is not reporting it. They are telling us that it will cause inflation. But guess what? Why is it that the 14 million naira that you are paying your senators per month is not causing inflation? A professor in a university in Nigeria is earning 450,000 naira per month. It will take a professor 2 years of salary earnings to make the amount of money a senator who probably did not graduate from a university is making in a month. And nobody is reporting that. We have said in this same country that we have an economic system that is all inclusive, that we will revolutionize agriculture, the tourism sector, health, that will provide universal basic health for our people, that is for free, that will provide free education, and even provide study allowances for students. 100,000 is what we are planning for every student per semester in this country. We have the money. We just need to reapply it to the people who are in need, because this country needs to stop feeding the greedy. We need to attend to the needy.
Finally, there is this fear that you are still being sponsored by Tinubu. What's your relationship?
So I'm sponsored by Tinubu, but I don't know who Tinubu is. And you all in the media cannot find evidence of even a meeting between me or Tinubu, or a phone call between me and Tinubu, or even any financial transaction. That means the media is not doing it. So you cannot be reporting hearsays. You know, in 1992, when we go to meetings where we were fighting for democracy in this country in 1993, I will be sitting in front as the student union president of University of Lagos. Bola Tinubu will be sitting in the back. Before they will call him, I will have to speak first. With due respect, I may not be as old as he is, but I'm better and more influential than he is in this country. I have been doing activism for 30 years. Before Bola Tinubu set up TVC, I set up Sahara Reporters, you know, and I set it up on my own sweat with a laptop. But he used Lagos money and the Lagos Polytechnic as the headquarters. I challenge them all the time. I'm challenging Tinubu himself to come and say it publicly that I've ever met him before. I've only met Tinubu once in my life, in 1999. But you know where the rumor came from? It came from Jonathan when he was being defeated in 2015. And it's coming out from Buhari when he's about to be defeated in 2019. That I'm working for Tinubu. I don't work for Tinubu, I work for my conscience.
Well, the thing we did there, we say the thing we happened today, now part of democracy.
Okay.
So everybody not be on the same page, say everybody support the same candidate. Even people who did the same party, if they don't agree with the president, they go shut them down, you know. They do it for US, even when the president of US come, the National Assembly too. Some people go like him, some people not go like him, some people go protest, even for there. But the thing where they happen, we say, this one where you see today now, the situation where Nigeria day, you know, this one now political season. Otherwise, all the people who did for National Assembly are not different from the people who did for executive.
But if they talk, but these are people who say the same people elect.
No, we should, you know, what did I tell you? We say, what is the difference? If you see budget not about them. Out of 8 point something trillion, about 1 trillion, they go National Assembly alone. Now, there they pay themselves the allowances. Now, that's why we see an average member of National Assembly, they collect 13 point something million naira per month. Whereas the ordinary people, they collect 18,000 naira, when they want to increase now to 30,000 per month. If they collect 30,000 naira per month, you know how many years you go work before you go collect 13 point something, almost 30 years. Now you go put into work. The thing I tell you, you say, yes, it's good that some people did for president, and some people not there. But the question when you ask me, now as president of Nigeria, how I go take manage, they can still say that how money go there. And now when they talk saying that delivery, if they work for the people, and your programs, they gear towards it to make people happy, the lawmakers will represent the people too must behave themselves when you come to this kind of. So I go be popular president because I go to work for the people. But I'm not talking say clashes not go there or say some disagreements not go there. But not be the kind where we see today when we say some people they hate president. It just be like rally. When we say, you know, you just go hire some people, they praise you, and some people they throw pure water. Now we see today for the National Assembly, as them say, as the thing happen, me I don't see anything there. I they look past all these people where they display for here, and they look into the future where Nigeria won't get we go better past this one where they see so.
Okay, part of looking at the future, you get what you talk. We get to do with the amount of budget and how much will they go for National Assembly for salaries and all that.
Yes.
Okay, and somebody if we don't also at least Nigeria don't come and talk say the cost of governance when it comes to the amount of money where our legislators they collect say it did too
much. Yes.
As somebody where they see this thing from an outside once again, if you become at least president, say you go move for at least a reduction of a cut in government costs, so that make we know whether at least that transparency of
absolutely.
For example, look at President. President get 9 jets where they did, where they can fly up and down. For Nigeria, will be a small country. We don't need more than 2 jets. 1 for president and maybe 1 for the VP. In fact, some other countries, they will not sell all their jets. They take commercial planes. Not at the same time when I go arrive, look at Sowore, big place. Look at the budget for food, 1 billion. Waiting at the chop for there. Now human head. So we have to cut the cost of governance. But one of the major proposals where I get, but which we go do when we want to restructure Nigeria under our government, now to do unicameral legislative system. We didn't be unicameral before, make I not confuse our people. This is the time where we get 2 arms, Senate day, House of Rep day. We don't need all these people. We just need 1. Everybody they represented. So instead of Senate and House of Reps, we just cut them to 1. They don't do them for South Korea, they don't do them for Senegal, where we say they only get 1 house. Just like the State House of Assembly now, where we get not only 1 house, represented by all the local government. And if we get that kind of thing, what they cost us the kind of money we will spend on all these guys. They carry allowance up and down, we go pay them salary, then they waka up and down from ministries, departments, and agencies. They look for money where they go collect from under the table. Now the thing where they destroy Nigeria be that. But now when I propose that will go happen, after they don't swear us in. But generally, we go start with the executive. There are a lot of excesses there. Allowances where they pay people where they travel. They go conferences where they don't go attend the conference. They will go come back. They will collect what they call a star code. Now all those things, they finish Nigeria. If you know the amount of money they waste on irrelevancies, you go weep for this country.
Okay, basically, make we also further bring them down to at least lower this thing, that is the executive, and when it comes to governorship and this thing. As a one-time governor and the current national president of APC, that's Ogo Shimoli, he don't come and talk, say, look, say, if we look minimum wage way our workers they cry for, say now something we be say it they payable. This one be saying they come out they offend to the fact that look governors fee pay this minimum wage. But if you also can look contradictory really. The governor's foreign Jamo will be Oga this thing that is the governor of Zamfara State. Don't come and talk say look say they no design governorship role just to pay salary alone. And for that reason, say make people no come they feel saying only salary. They're going to do it and they're going to at least put their money on. And how we also fit look and say, okay, beyond just within our governors they look right now. How the governors go out, also feel look at thinking beyond just waiting that they generate from oil to say, okay, for us to further advance and make sure that we meet up to our own demand. These are the steps we need to do. What do you expect make governors also feed through? So
first, make I first address within we go. They propose 30,000. Our proposal now to pay 100,000 to workers as minimum wage. Now that kind of money we workers.
But sure, if you say we get that kind of fund to
we get, I will explain to you.
Okay.
The other thing we say, all these governors where they see, most of them just did there the thief money. Make I give you one example because me I be a reporter before. When they do Paris refund, the way they say money we don't owe before we over deduct for give them back. These same governors and Zamfara State where they talk say they no be salary where they won't come pay. What did they carry the money? Do we go buy a house for Maryland for US? 1.something million naira house. Now me go there, take the picture, carry the documents, come. When they pay the over deduct salary Paris Club. What did Senate President do? He carried 3.5 billion out of that money. How much will each governor they pay themselves as security vote every month? Have you ever heard say any governor they will not pay himself security vote? You not feel here for Nigeria, but they don't go pay salary even at 18,000. They don't go pay salary because they no more pay workers. So, but now going to the point where you raise say what governors feel do. Forget Lagos. Lagos, they do well. But of course, see Lagos now also personal property. We'll come back to that one later. But look at the governor of Kebbi, where they grow rice. Okay. Rice. Last year alone, the man make 150 billion naira. That kind of governor, where creatively they grow rice,
partnership.
He no need to go the beg for Abuja. And every state for this country gets something where they feel grow. Every state for this country gets something where they fit do.
But if they talk to every state, and we don't also hear cases where they talk to look, power lines say power day for the federal level. Say before you go probably fit get access to the resources within your land, you go also need to at least ensure say the federal level, government on the federal level also be part of that.
You know, include agriculture.
Okay.
You fit grow, the federal government.
But not be every land fit get that fertile and this thing to go to.
Well, land we not get fertile land. If we get fish now. I come from Ondo State. We feed the fish for Ondo State. All these fish, where they say, we feed get fish pond all over Ilaje, SLDO. Make we supply all the fish where Southwest they chop now. There be fishery there for a Bokoda before. We get port where we feed dig, but our governors, they interested to do anything with they creative. Of course, the part of the law where we say they stop people from, exploring, say, mineral or oil. We need to change that too. So that the states where own resources go get the bulk of it. So that other states go they think creatively of how they get resources. Me, for example, with the propose, say, as Nigeria, there should be oil day for Niger Delta region. Energies day for solar panel, for example, if we carry go Sokoto, sun you just a bit and you go to take and get electricity. If we carry and go, that one a resource for them be that too. Just as they do granite pyramid before. Yeah. All these ones where headsmen they pursue farmers up and down. If governors get sense, they do commercial ranching. Commercial ranching, we say we get 20 million cows for this country. Put them for ranches. Employ people, put water for there, come they collect tax per cow. Anytime where they go sell the cow, the government will get money from there. Instead of all these clashes they get, because every cow droppings, shit will come up from cow nyash. We even use them to generate electricity, we call them biogas. But people will get analog brain. They not even think about that. Every morning, just a rush go Abuja with Agbada. It be like say as I did, so make I just ban the wearing of Agbada self because the thing they invest when they sell those.
Now part of our traditional.
I know that the way not be the traditional way I hate, but the people where they wear and the way that they behave, it just made them look lazy to me. It be like see people don't want to walk. They carry Agbada up and down. They carry one. Yeah, they carry one up the thing for the other side. I want to see people made they this smart. They think not made they just they carry Agbada. They enter baby car. They carry siren instead of make states being get tractors. All of the money with this state, they take and go buy Prado Jeep. They follow. One governor will figure like 25 Prado Jeep. Instead of maybe get tractors, maybe they till the land, they grow, they self-sufficient, make we get food security for the country. All these things they there. Here we say Bill Gates talks say the problem of Nigeria, not say money not there. He say they invest in the people. If we make the country
but you also don't at least link us to another very important issue. We say if we look at now something we say it don't dig deep into our system, which of course they get to do with corruption issue.
Yeah.
How you want to address corruption, because if every government when they come in place, they talk say I will ensure say I combat corruption for the system, I will ensure say I combat corruption in the state, and yet the same corruption still they rise. It's still now something.
Make I explain one thing to you.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you.
Well, listen. If you combat corruption, if na Godfather bring you into politics, so now make us the campaign. They collect money from people where they donate to our campaign. All these other people, including Buhari, now corrupt money and bring them. So first of all, they will take care of the godfathers. We bring them into office. All the people that be oil barons and all those things. The second, now 3 layers where we want to fight corruption.
Okay.
One, now to ensure say through technology, our processing of contracts, the way we buy things, procurement, we make sure say they transparent, they open. We make sure say they computerized, they digitalize. Second, now enforcement. Now we say before things happen too bad to corruption, we don't come after the person. The third, now consequences. Because part of the thing will be biggest problem for Nigeria is a person go for koro eye like this, steal money. Everybody knows that this one a thief. He don't thief money where they for hospital, they for school. People for village or for city, they give them shiftancy title. If they from there, Waka go church, they give them ordination, or anointing. You go from there, Waka go the national level, they go give them GCFR or GCON. Our value system, they very, very corrupted.
And if you know, the only way you feel prevent that, and other countries they do are through consequences. People will still, even if you be 20 years ago for US, they catch you, you go still pay for them. The same thing for Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea. They still the jail presidents with it. In fact, South Korea just jailed their former president the other day. I think Malaysia just arrested their prime minister recently. For US, even governor, we just talk for phone, say won't sell Obama seats that time. It's still there for jail till today. But Nigeria, ask yourself, you don't see one governor, they send him go jail. They say they give him a vacation to go treat himself. Person wait there for jail, there for London. But they joke for here now.
So what are your plans for unemployment matter? So at least it go reduce the minimum.
So our program, we call them Spicer Hits. Now we say security, power, electricity, infrastructure. For example, right now there are 20,000 kilometers of highway for Nigeria. We want to increase that to 40,000 kilometers. You know, that is say every way will be narrow, like we double them into two. Because that's why America come off from depression for 1929 when it happened. They introduced what they call interstate highway. Every state waiting for America, you get one highway will somehow pass through from the East Coast to the West Coast. And America, big past Nigeria, where in fact, one state for America out of the 50, one of them, Alaska, big past Nigeria. Texas, almost as big as Nigeria. California, and half of Nigeria. But if you go everywhere, you know, road day. But even if you don't want to use America, if you go Rwanda, then develop like that. So when at the top, we say, now investments, now you go bring out joblessness. Now you go end the joblessness where we deal with. Investment where they talk about, for example, where we say we won't provide, right now we get 3,000 megawatts of electricity, light no day for night. They fly into Nigeria and it's also darkness, half of the country there. We want to increase that to 24,000. What do we want to do? 4,500 for solar energy. Now we say to put the parts together to generate that 4,500 and do for Morocco, you go employ over 2 million people. We won't do our security apparatus the proper way. We need to hire more people, you know, to work in the army, navy, and not be to hire people will be family members of people who did there before. Open up the employment portal to all Nigerians where they entitled to data so we go feel belong. We won't create 1,000 entrepreneurs in the agricultural sector like they do for the Kebbi where they talk about. You know, in 774 local governments, multiplied by 1,000, we won't hire 200,000 teachers so that every school will feel boast of teacher. After we train some of the teachers, you understand, we will pay them minimum wage. Where would they propose? You know, health care alone will provide 160,000 jobs for healthcare sector alone. For the housing sector, we need to immediately begin build over 17 million houses so that we go deal with the housing crisis we did for Nigeria. All of this thing where they talk now, they always talk say I want to turn Nigeria into construction site. Okay. And the moment that they happen, people go get plenty job. Well, some people go even get 2 jobs.
Going by what you don't talk, at least you don't put out several projects on ground there. But at least in Nigeria, they watch you right now, go talk say so all these things I want to achieve if you take over. But under further questions where a lot of people also want to ask how you want go about, that is a more defining understanding of how you want go about ensuring say this thing is they visible as in you achieve them. You understand? Because make no job be say we don't hear people they tell us all these kind of things.
We don't hear people, but before people know they ask when people say they won't do them, how they won't do them. People know they ask. When somebody talks say won't provide 5 million jobs for the last election, I don't ask them say how you go take provide million. They talk them now. Even PDP and APC they talk them now. Say we'll just provide you. I don't see article roadmap. I don't see Buhari. You don't get specifics. They just mouth them. We talk the sector, agricultural sector. This is number of jobs. This is how we are going to do it. Housing sector. This is number of jobs that I will produce. Road construction. This number of jobs we will produce. Electricity, we want to increase. So we provide jobs and we provide tangible results. We will come with the job, not the job for the boys. And this is all spelled out. We get documents where they're available, where people feel look at. We get it on the internet and we distribute them to people because now with the campaign pass for this country. As I tell you, I just come from Uyo, go Abuja yesterday, I did Lagos today, tomorrow I did Port Harcourt. And we allow people also ask us, because we do what they call town hall meetings, where we will gather for village square. People, they ask us questions.
Nobody else they do that kind of thing. We don't break them down, including how we want fund the process up to how we go everything day inside our own plan. But the other people, they don't get any of those. They just talk, say we will provide jobs, we will do this. They don't get any plans, and people know they ask them questions because they know they go near people. Laid it down by saying we want to build 17 million units of housing, just the same way they did in China. For those who like to talk about China, they have what they call ghost apartments. Apartments that have been built that has not been occupied, even though they have over 1 billion people. That will provide jobs. If we double our infrastructure as it is now, not just managing to do roads, over 13,000 kilometers of road, that will provide over 2 million jobs. If we do what we want to do with agricultural entrepreneurship, which is providing about 1,000 jobs for entrepreneurs in every local government, multiply that by 774 local government. Tell me how many jobs you get. When we hire 200,000 teachers to fund into our system so that we can take over 13 million kids who are out of school now back into school and spend 1.3 trillion naira, 100,000 naira per child to go back to school. Tell me why the country will not improve. But the leaders in this country are not interested. They are more interested in feeding prisoners 14,000 naira per day than spending 100,000 naira to send children back to school, out of school kids. I want to pay students who are going to university study allowance as well so that they can stay in school and focus on school. And anybody who's going to school and get that study allowance, if you come out and you work with the federal government, maybe as a teacher or in any public position, we forgive the grant. But if you go and find a job in a bank in the private sector, you pay us back with interest. That's how it is done in other places. I'm just giving you this because I know there's not enough time. And this is the reason why I cannot wait to debate so many of these guys. And you heard that we're excluded from the debate because they're afraid of these ideas that will ignite growth, the kind of growth and development that will make Nigeria live above the basic necessities of life. We've been talking about basic necessities of life since I was in primary school. We should not be talking about that anymore. People are entitled to live on paradise on earth if their countries can afford it. And our country has shown that they can afford it. But
can our country afford it?
Absolutely.
Because the next question will be, how are you going to fund all of these that you talk about? In a country where governments, state and federal, are saying they are unable to pay 30,000 naira minimum wage.
They don't want to pay minimum wage. They are not interested in minimum wage. They are not interested in paying wages, period. These guys are slave drivers. Let me explain why that is the case to you. There's an argument going on between Fayemi in Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, and his former governor, Fayose. And Fayemi found out that Fayose had 18 billion naira given to him through the Paris loan refund. He never paid workers. Why? Because they needed the money to do elections so that he could put his puppets to cover up his behind for him. Fayemi probably would do the same thing because the money that was supposed to use to pay workers in Ondo State was used to help Fayemi do see and buy in Ekiti. You understand? So why would they pay workers when the money that is supposed to go to workers is more about money they're interested in using to buy voters? These are the kind of leaders you have. They're not interested in paying workers. The one in Kogi State.
You are making some very weighty allegations.
You are making a presidential candidate.
Allegations that you possibly cannot back up with facts.
I will back up with facts. Look, I'm in this country. I'm also a reporter. Like every one of you sitting here, whether you don't accept me or not is a different issue. But I'm a reporter. I run Sahara Reporters. I have backed up all this. In fact, so many of the allegations that went to court now that they are trying in court, they first of all appeared on Sahara Reporters. So I'm not lying. I'm not lying that there was Paris reforms that were stolen by governors. There was a governor in Zamfara State, and this is not an allegation, who was given Paris reform, and he went and bought homes in America with it. I went and obtained the pictures, I obtained the documents I wish he bought homes with. But because he was friends with the president, he was trying to marry the president's daughter, nobody touched him till today. The governor who was found collecting dollars on tape, is that one allegation too? Why is there nobody touching him? So these are not allegations, we have facts.
on the ground. But instead of trying the governor, you are running after the reporter who exposed him and claiming that it's fake tapes. No, if you know what the elders of this country have done to us, you know that they don't deserve respect. In fact, we are nice that we still see them and respect them. They've destroyed what could have been of our dignity. They've brought poverty, they've brought diseases. You know, they've stripped us. That is why when you travel abroad, when other people are being separated and treated by human beings, they ask dogs come and sniff you because you are Nigerian. It's these elders that you ask us to respect that did it to us. Our elders, so many of them, especially the political leaders, don't deserve any respect. I'm saying it without apology. But there are elders in this country who deserve respect, and we respect them, and they respect us.
Yeah, you talked about the minimum wage that we can pay, but some of these governors don't just want to pay.
They don't want to pay.
Right. Now, if you are president, how will you get them to pay? One, the governors have immunity.
Yes.
So how will you compare these governors? Because you have listed several allegations about against some of them here. Now, if such a thing happened in your administration, how will you go about it?
You know, minimum wage that we are proposing is for federal workers. I am not responsible for state workers as the president of Nigeria. But I will do everything I can.
Yeah, what will you do at the state level?
So I will do everything I can to help push for payment of wages for workers. You know, there's a difference between minimum wage and a living wage. What I'm proposing is a living wage for workers. So it's to put pressure on these governors and help let everybody know transparently how much they're getting. You know, listen, as we're sitting here today, you can never hear that a governor failed to pay himself the security vote and in any month. It has never happened before. And these security votes are in millions, in some cases billions of naira. Almost 50% of what the minimum wage of workers are in those states. You know, I would work towards a legislation that will abolish security votes, because that's slush funds that are not accounted for, that if they were accounted for, there will be enough money to take care of the minimum wage of workers at 100,000 naira per worker. Let me explain to you how much it will cost us. We've done our calculation, and it's only going to cost $1.5 billion to pay this minimum wage. But it will grow the local economy so fast and so well that our GDP will grow astronomically, because the people at the top who are earning the highest in terms of allowances and salary, when they get paid, they take the money out. They go to Dubai, London to go and buy houses. When the workers, regular workers, get paid, they send money to their children, they spend money in schools, they send money to their parents. So minimum wage or living wage is a wage that is retained within the country. But here we are, complaining about minimum wage of 30,000 naira, and our senators are taking home 13.7 million naira as allowances every month. Do you know that it takes 2 years of a PhD holder, a professor that has been working for 14 years, it takes them 2 years of salary at 450,000 naira per month to make the allowance of a senator?
In 1 month.
In 1 month.
Yes.
If you are earning minimum wage of 30,000 in Nigeria, it will take you 30 years to make the salary of a senator in a month.
The allowance?
The allowance of a senator, not the salary. And you have not added the extortion that they carry out in the name of oversight in ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Something that we stop. Look, we should not be deceiving ourselves sitting down. We know all the problems. All the journalists, we know all the problems.
Yeah, yes. I want to ask you this question.
But before you ask that question, let me quickly say here, we've been getting a lot of tweets. One of them is from Olumese Ahigbe, who says, we take Sowore seriously.
Yes, I'm surprised that our colleague said that people don't take me seriously. But we'll resolve that when we get out of here.
But Ahigbe also asks that you speak the truth in a raw way.
Well, it's what is needed at this time. We have been raped and destroyed in the rawest manner, and to retrieve and recover from that situation we have to speak truth to power in the rawest possible way. You have to let, our leaders are tone deaf. And that is starting to affect the followership as well. So to break through that ceiling that is preventing people, that's made people very complacent and reticent, you have to go beyond this. That's why we call our campaign Revolution Now.
And Victor is also reacting to the statement you just made about paying 100,000 naira as minimum wage to federal workers.
Yes.
And his question is, won't that create anarchy in the system if the workers at the state level
are left disequilibrium?
No, there won't be disequilibrium. There won't be disequilibrium. You see, what is there is that whatever is happening at the federal, the federal government shares money. Every revenue that comes to Nigeria is shared between the federal and the state and the local governments, right? And what happens to us is that we need 1.3 billion to pay minimum wage of 100,000. But we are stealing 5 billion every year from the public purse. So if we add another billion, we'll be able to pay state workers, or let's say we add another 2 billion, which makes it 3.5 billion. We'll be able to pay state workers this amount. But the state workers have to fight for their life, that when the money gets to the governors, they pay the monies to them. It's not only salaries that governors are stealing. Governors are stealing local government allocation with impunity in this country. We know that, right? So you cannot continue with, so it's up to people to also not vote for thieves as their governors. You have to look for a Sowore in your state as well and vote for him in the next election. Look for a Sowore as a senator. Let me tell you, the other day I was asking that we abolish the Senate and have a unicameral legislative system. There was an uproar in the country. A few days ago, some senators and I think House of Rep members gathered together that they are looking for a parliamentary system of governance. What is a parliamentary system of governance? It's pretty much a unicameral legislative system.
Where do you think they are coming from?
Huh?
Where do you think they are coming from?
Because the ideas that I have been speaking to is beginning to percolate into the system, because people are following me and they are looking at it and saying, this young man has got great ideas. Due respect, senior journalist, I was the one who proposed June 12 as Democracy Day. Today now, I heard the other day that the House of Reps has already passed a law that will make June 12 Democracy Day. And those were the ideas we fought for when we were young. So it's coming from the understanding that the bicameral legislative system is too expensive.
The main question I wanted to ask you earlier,
yes,
is you've proposed so many things you want to do.
Yes.
Minimum wage,
yes,
infrastructure, education, and so on. Just a few days ago, one of the governors, as a matter of fact, the chairman of the Governors Forum, came out to tell the nation that the president told them that the economy is down. Nigerians should wait and expect more hardship. And now, you are contesting. If you win with a very tattered economy, how do you intend to cope or actualize all the things you are putting together?
With a lot of external borrowing by state and even the federal government.
You know, nothing is as bad as deception. This is the same country in which they said through the Federal Inland Revenue Service alone, they said they've made 5 trillion naira in taxes. Is this correct?
That's what they said.
Yes. What is Nigeria's budget? Nigeria's budget, 8 trillion. That means that from FRS alone, you've covered a huge percentage of your budget.
More than 60%.
Exactly. This same year, $320 million was returned from Abacha loot into, that wasn't budgeted for. So extra money, right? Even JAMB said they made money this year.
Trillions.
No. The Port Authority claimed they made money. EFCC said they recovered over 540-something billion naira from people who stole from the past. So who is lying to who? You see, they are telling you...
You've not come to the oil sector.
I'm not going to go there because I'm talking about areas that are not where we naturally get funding from, of course. Revenue from oil sector, I'll go to that later. Because, for instance, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Kachukwu, said that Nigeria lost $60 billion to a particular law that was supposed to apply to oil wells that were of a certain depth. They gave them about 10 years of grace not to pay royalties. Now the 10 years is passed. So they are supposed to pay royalties, and from those royalties, we're supposed to get $60 billion. That's just from one law alone. But because nobody is out there in control of the economy of the country, there's no leadership. With due respect, this country is without government. We only hear from government when things are failing. You don't hear from them when things are going well. But guess what? These same people who are telling you that the economy is going down, when it's time for the election, money will be popping out from everywhere to buy voters. Because the money that's supposed to be used for the development of the country, they are hiding it somewhere for election day. That is the crime that leadership is in this country. And that is why Nigerians must open their eyes and ears to those with fresh ideas and get rid of these dinosaurs whose only way of governing is excuses and more excuses and more excuses. And you might say that maybe my language is tough, but this is the time for it, for us to keep speaking the raw truth that can breathe life into a future that we desire in this country, because our children need it very badly.
I want to say good morning to everyone here. I have been able to work and in a capacity in which I've fought corruption as an individual almost in the last 12 years. And I can tell you that the reason why corruption is endemic, especially politically, is because of the way our political parties are formed. It's because of the way they are funded. It's because of the way they recruit their candidates and the way they get into office. Interestingly, the only party that did not come to this debate today is supposed to be campaigning, is supposed to be the party that fights corruption. But they are not here because they want to perpetrate the biggest corruption of this era in the next few weeks. That is vote buying, which is a political corruption that is going to destroy our democracy. I'm talking about the All Progressives Congress, APC. And I hope they are watching us today. I hope they are watching here in Abuja, that would have expected either their party leader or their presidential candidate to come and explain to us how he is going to fight corruption when his party at this time is partnered with some of the most corrupt persons in Nigeria who are being celebrated in their party. But let's talk about our own party and what we intend to do. The problem with fighting corruption in Nigeria is that we do not have anything preventive, mostly, to ensure that corrupt people don't lay hands on our resources. And most times, we go after them after they have already taken whatever is available for everybody to themselves. So there's no prevention. And the second level where we try at all is that of enforcement. And enforcement has become a theatrical process in Nigeria. It has to be celebrated, it has to be dramatized, and at the end of the day, the people who are really corrupt never get caught. Even when they are caught, it depends on which side of the aisle they belong. So the third level of our own intervention is, of course, consequences. The problem with Nigeria and fighting corruption is that we do not deliver consequences on corrupt people. It is the reason why some of them have the temerity at this time to be running for office in our country. The guys to my right, the PDP people, and of course the guys who did not come here today. So we will deal with corruption very, very severely, and the people who will bear the brunt of it are already looking at me and they know what we'll do to them. Let me quickly just respond to my friend about the transparency of our party's election. it was beamed live to everyone, and we didn't pay anybody $5,000 to vote for our presidential candidate. We didn't take the BDCs from everywhere to Port Harcourt. Having said that, it is very, very important that in dealing with corruption in Nigeria, we start, as my friend said, using technology to aid prevention. But the problem with our friend is that he didn't even know which technology is out there to use for it. They have a computer that probably don't have software in NRP. So there's what they call blockchain technology these days. There is encryption that you can use to transmit, because our biggest problem, honestly, with corruption in Nigeria is the opaque nature of how we do our transactions in the public sphere, and the lack of transparency in the way we conduct our businesses. The moment you remove that, all the thieves will be hung out dry, because before they get anything done, we have seen it, we have tracked it, and we ensure that we nip them on the board. And this will apply to every sector of our institutional public life. So if we are doing contracting, it must be transparent to all. There's no reason why an average Nigerian cannot tell how much we are making in the so-called TSA. How much is there on the daily? We're entitled to it. How much are we spending? How's money moving? The second thing that we need to do is to ensure that a lot of our assets that belong to individuals or the country is also publicly available. The land registry of Abuja, you cannot find it because the whole of Abuja is owned by a few people. That should be online. The asset declaration forms of our public officers should be something you can download without having to go through it. And we don't have to having to go through, the eye of the needle. But most importantly, let's also talk about enforcement. We have enforcement agencies that are fighting corruption in this country. They don't have to be police. We can train people who can enforce our anti-corruption laws. How do we do it? Even sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, when money is moving around, there's paperwork and there's also paper trail. We have an NFIU. They know when thieves are stealing money. But if you don't put the right people there, you are wasting your time, because they will never whistleblow on these guys who are stealing money. But the last thing I will say is consequences. I and our party will remove everybody who has a national award who were shown in this movie by CDD today. We will remove all their national awards, take it back from them. All the GCFRs, the GCONs, and I think part of the problem we've had over these years is that we are relying too much on these ad hoc organizations to address corruption without thinking about institutionalizing the anti-corruption fight. Apart from the established organizations, I also think that we should strengthen the police. It's actually the job of the police to catch corrupt people. That is why whenever you set up the organization, you go back to the police to look for people to carry out enforcement. So why don't we strengthen our police, train them properly? Look, we might keep saying that the police is the most corrupt, but it's the same police that produce Nuhu Ribadu. In fact, every time we are looking for the most non-corrupt human being to fight corruption, we go to the Nigerian police. So we have to focus on our police in addition to the existing organization, but I also have to support, and I'm sorry to agree with him on that one, that I support the independence of the EFCC. Right now, for you to get prosecution of anyone in Nigeria, the EFCC must first carry your file to the villa. And if the villa say don't touch the person will not be prosecuted. If they say touch the person, it doesn't matter how clean the person is, EFCC will find something against you. When you are talking about, you say, don't mention names of people. Look, one of the things we have to seriously be talking about, we have to be mobilizing shame against people who are stealing and destroying the country. Because they have a home address, they have a surname, they have a first name. It's the reason why I was so appalled not to see APC people here today, because we have mentioned the likes of Akpabio and Ojius Okalu, who are undergoing investigation and corruption, who are members of the party. The same way we can talk about Saraki and the rest of them, who are the major operators of the PDP. We have to mention names. There's nothing we can do about it, because people destroy this country. They have names, they are driving cars, they register the cars, they are living in mansions on our back.
And we are here saying, don't talk about them. I'm sorry.
And I'd like to give it only 1 minute, 30 seconds. Our time is fast spent. So, Mr. Timekeeper, please take note of 1 minute, 30 seconds. It's an important question, so I'd like you to please focus. Party primaries threw up a lot of corruption issues with allegations of vote buying and bribery of party officials. If the political class is implicated, why should Nigerians believe parties when they talk about combating corruption? And I would like to start with the African Action Congress.
Well, we're a new party, and we've only been 4 months. We started as a movement before then that's been around for 9 months. And within 4 months, we have shown character, we've shown competence, we've shown transparency. Our party, as I'm standing in front of you, has 3,999,000 naira in its account. It's not been touched. No party, especially the established ones, can tell you how much they have, because they have too much money. And we have been able to set up all over the country. We have traveled to 33 states with less than 100 million naira. What we want to do is also ensure that we sanitize the political system in such a way that people no longer believe in money. We demystify money. People will tell you that if you don't have money, you can't contest for the presidency. Is a lie. You can contest for the presidency of Nigeria if you don't have money, if people give you money. And we receive money. I have received almost 99 million naira today from GoFundMe, which is transparently available publicly, and also from contribution from a Zenith bank account we set up. And with that, we traveled around this country. So what we're saying is that our party is not engaged in any form of corruption. Regardless of what our friend was trying to insinuate here, they try to tar other people with the kind of their own dirty brush, But our party is available to be scrutinized. We are not buying any votes. I don't give money to anybody. I don't give money to police. It's the reason why I don't have police protection, because the police people want me to pay them for it. I say I can't afford to pay police to protect me.
We're in the area of power. We're the first to discuss using renewable energy as a means of providing supply of electricity 24/7 in Nigeria. And we set, our programs are specific. As you know, the APC and the PDP, there's been an allegation that they even copied their manifesto from other people. We are the first to talk about a minimum wage that is specific, that is bringing about a minimum wage that is legitimately a living wage in our view. And you saw that 3 days ago, South Africa stole that idea from us. Let's just hope they did in their own interest. And they increased their own minimum wage 30% across board. This is not just for federal workers in South Africa now, but everyone in South Africa who is in labor, in the workforce, is entitled to be paid an equivalent of 126,800 naira. That's equivalent Nigerian naira. And that's become the law in South Africa. You cannot break that law. If you do it, it's a crime. But in Nigeria, we're still struggling to pay 30,000 naira per month. So what it does to us is that a professor that is earning 450,000 naira per month is going to take 2 years before they can earn the minimum wage of our senators, which is 13.7 million naira per month.
Well, I know it's fashionable to say South Africa has done this, Nigeria has not done the same thing, but fixing the minimum wage, is it not something you do relative to your national revenue profile?
It is.
Revenue but to your own circumstances. South Africa is Africa's most industrialized economy. Will it be correct to just say, for emotional reasons, that Nigeria should?
I actually appreciate that you said that. But all of us in the media, maybe excluding myself, celebrated when we said Nigerian economy is bigger than that of South Africa, some 3 years ago. That was when they recalibrated and rebased Nigerian economy. We celebrated it everywhere. We are now bigger than South Africa. So when it is time to say we are bigger than South Africa as an economy, we celebrate it. When we say do the responsibility of your size, we start saying that South Africa is bigger than us. No, it's not true. Our economy is $500 billion economy, GDP, right? Minimum wage that we are proposing is just $1.5 billion of that amount. That's what we intend to pay to workers. But here is what we keep making as an argument. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. You cannot propel the Nigerian economy to the greatest height, not the next level, if you
pay peanuts to your workers. It makes them susceptible to corruption. It makes, it kills their morale. And, if you are in Osun State or your state, for example, you're sending your daughter or your son to school, to a university there, that is the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, and you're asked to pay $250,000 as school fees. Where do you get the money from? So how come we don't talk about that? The consequence of sending children to school, obtaining health, and living a life that is at least comfortable. That is what minimum wage, that's why we are not talking about minimum wage, but a living wage for Nigeria. But let's even go beyond that and look at what our political office holders are receiving as, emolument, salary, allowances, unconscionable. So when it's time to talk about workers, we start applying economic, emotional arguments. We start saying South Africa is bigger than us. But when it comes to talking about our leaders, our political operators, and how much they earn and how much they make, nobody's talking about inflation. When a senator is taking home 14 million naira a month, which, by the way, is the minimum wage of a worker earning 18,000 naira over 37 years. So if you work for 38 years, between the day you start work at 18,000 naira and you retire, you are not going to receive enough money as a salary as the allowance of a senator who is taking home 14 million naira per month. That is per month. So let's be realistic about it. We have to stop, serving the greedy. It's time to start, applying our resources to the needy. Minister, it's great to see you. This is the minister of an outgoing regime. The Buhari regime will be kicked out of power come 2019. By your wish or by God's wish? By the wish of the people of Nigeria. Those people? The people of Nigeria. Sir, your government has failed us. Dreaming. You are a daydream. It's not a dream. You are a daydream. It's the realization that you wake up to on February 15. What is your electoral word? My electoral word. My electoral word brought you to power in 2015. It brought you to power in 2015. No, sir. Any other politician? Nobody even heard about some of you in 2014. No, because you are inconsequential politically. I am consequential because you came on power. Well, you came to power on my back. Which back? On my back. Whose back? On the back of young people who invested a lot of who invested a lot of hope and aspiration. You invest more than me. No. The investment we made in no. Come and make noise here. No, it's not about noise. It's reality. Just a noise maker. Sir, this was the same way Jonathan people were sounding in 2014. The rest of it. That's what I'm saying. What is your word? We can't be cocky about this. You are going to find out. You are going to be shocked. You are going to be shocked 2019. No, sir. You are a daydreamer. The Nigeria of the future is for dreamers like me. Yes. It's going to be for dreamers like me. Hold on a second. Thank you. We are aware that you came to town yesterday. Yes. In respect of your quest to become president. What is motivating you? What is inspiring you? So he's politically motivated. No, it's not politically motivated. The presidency is for people like him. No, you see, that is part of the cockiness and arrogance of power we are talking about. Go and start from being a councillor. No. Go and start from being a councillor. I've been a member of the House of Assembly once. Before you became minister, were you a councillor? I was a commissioner to. No, sir. Before you became a minister, were you a councillor? You were a commissioner. So the natural progression for you would have been to go to the Federal House of Assembly then. So having been commissioner for twice. No. What I'm saying is that, sir. No, sir. I've been at this for 30 years. 47 years, sir. Yes, sir. 47 years of age. Maybe a platform for minions like you to come and. I'm telling you that I am a giant. I'm a giant that is going to kick you out of power in 2019. You are going to wake up. We are going to wake up on February 15. But you're going to wake up on February 15 and you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. Young people of Nigeria, 75% of them will see your back in 2019. Now, Sowore, yes, sir. A publisher of Sahara Reporter. Yes. We were in town yesterday. I'm enjoying this conversation. I love it too. Even though today is not crossfire. Crossfire is for tomorrow. Basically,
Will you just tell our listeners and millions, are tuning in as we speak, what is motivating Sowore, the publisher of Sahara Reporter, to want to rule this country? Because that's what we're hearing that you want to do.
Absolutely.
Why?
I have been around for 30 years fighting for the betterment of this country. First as a student union leader, and of course as a leader of a media movement. Because we reported consistently over time.
Since you were born,
sir,
I've been in politics.
Sir, I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you when you were speaking.
40 years I've been in active politics.
You see this,
and I was already
sir,
a lawyer before I joined
this is the paternalism of our politics.
Talk rubbish.
No, it's not rubbish, sir. Sir, this is the kind of arrogance, sir.
I want to become president.
Yes, and I will be president. No, it's not that I will be president.
Who will make you president?
You see, it's
you will be president of your Ife.
No, I'm not from Ife, sir. I'm a Nigerian, and I'm going to be president. And you will lose the election next year, and you will go back to what you used to do before now. That's the truth. Yes, I'm promising you. I'm not God. I'm a Nigerian like you.
Break.
No, sir. Were you not shocked that I'm 47 years old? Because you think I'm a small boy now? Of consistency? No, it is you people that are practicing divisive politics. You know that you have polarized this country since you came to power. Please let us go back on air. Don't let him escape.
Escape to where?
Let's go back on air. Let's bring our ideas. I guarantee you, we are going to lose this election next year, both in Oyo State and at the national level. Then you will know that I'm consequential.
You are not God.
It's not about God. No, it is you people that are playing God. You are the ones saying that somebody is irrelevant. You are the ones saying that somebody is irrelevant in Nigeria. Did you pay for the airtime? We have always provided evidence. It's evidence-based reporting. You mentioned about the minister who was accused of a variety of things. The evidence was provided. He has not even responded to them. This was provided by one of his aides. Someone with you.
Did you contact me?
When we have evidence, sir. When we have evidence, there's no point wasting time. But I called you several times. But the same arrogance of power that you are displaying on here is no, you have not been humble today.
No, but you are.
By telling me that I'm inconsequential. No, by telling me that I'm inconsequential, you are rubbishing my generation by saying that I'm inconsequential.
So let me also ask you, Sowore, the quest by young Nigerians.
And calling me a dreamer.
The quest by young Nigerians, this idea of not too young to run. Is it part of what's motivating you? Or
No. That's a sense of entitlement that I don't want us to work on. That you have to be given power simply because you are young. You have to take power because you are responsible, and you will be responsible for it. And that's why we are having a heated argument here. Right? I have been doing this for 30 years. By next year, it would have been 30 years. We were the ones that fought for the democracy that they are enjoying today.
You spoke about the fact that you publish once evidences are made available to you.
Yes.
Do you try to cross-check those facts?
Of course.
Do you cross-check? I can come to you and say, look, I have issue with...
But you see the evidence. You see the evidence. When we say the chief of army staff bought houses in Dubai, we provided the receipts. And showed that the colonel was depositing money in a bank in Lagos for a house he was buying in Dubai. When they said they were hiring illegally at the CBN, we provided the evidence and found out it's the children of people in government that were hiring into the CBN from the back door.
In terms of ethics of this business, oftentimes when evidences are provided, like you did mention, is it not also incumbent upon you as a publisher to get back to the affected party?
We do. Like I said, we do, but they don't react until they get into trouble. Yes. I have your telephone number. I published. No, I called you. I did call. I sent you text messages even before now. But because you think I'm inconsequential, you ignored me. And you repeated that today.
I don't have your number.
You do,
I don't have your number.
you do have my number because you actually sent people to me to call me. Yes, because you don't want to use your phone number to call me. I will met
I don't have any
Mr. Karim called me. The guy, and he said it's beside you because you don't want to use your number to call me. Because you know all of you are being recorded.
Karim called you.
Yes, and he said you are next to him.
Karim called you only after you had published the rubbish.
And I didn't publish a rubbish about you.
Did.
No. I published facts about you. You have.
I consider also taking you to court.
Oh, I'll be happy. You know what fella said, Baba? Minister, you know what fella said? Say, take me to court. I will open book for you. Yes. Yes.
The final word.
I will provide you. Yes.
The final word here is one of the points the minister raised here.
Yes.
In terms of the need for experience.
Yes.
The need for you to really have stuff on ground, right?
For mentoring also, he needs to be mentored.
No, not by you. What experience are we talking about? Experience in stealing, assassination. That's the kind of experience that destroyed this country. I don't want that kind of mentoring. I don't want that kind of experience. This country doesn't need that type of experience.
You know the electoral process in this country, highly monetized.
Yes.
If you want to become president,
yes,
you have to campaign 774 local governments.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
36 states, including Abuja.
Yes.
How much are what?
It's not going to be about money this time around. Money failed them in 2014. Jonathan had the biggest war chest, and he can testify to that. They are revealing them now. They were distributing money to traditional rulers in dollars. But could he buy them the presidency? Eventually, Buhari won supposedly based on his integrity. Yes. He was the poorest person supposedly to have won the presidency. He told us he would declare his assets. The man refused. Till today, no, he never declared his asset. He did not present his public declaration of asset to the public as he promised. He only said that I have one land in Port Harcourt, I have one house in Abuja, but that document that he swore to, transparently, he refused to provide it today. It's not law.
What is it?
It's morality. It's morality. Morality. It's bound by morality to live by his word. We are doing movement politics. The parties that are working and talking together will come out and will kick out the behemoths of APC and PDP, the people deceiving people, and the people I like to call all past criminals. You see that when they release their list, they remove Obani Koro's name. That is part of the hypocrisy we are talking about. They are fighting corruption, they are deodorizing their members and criminalizing people who are not members.
What do you make
Didn't Obani Koro carry 5 billion to go and rig election in it? Why is his name not on their looters list?
Yes, Sowore, the final thing from me. What do you make of the initiative by former president of this country, OBJ, the third force,
there's no third force anywhere. It's called the third fast.
Oh, he's the candidate.
No. I don't believe in Obasanjo. His third force or third fast is DOA, dead on arrival. He knows it. We are kicking all of them out, sweeping them into retirement. Some of them will go to jail, some of them will retire, and some of them will go to court. There's going to be you will not be laughing by this time next year, sir. It won't be funny. I'm sorry. Yes, you won't be laughing. It will be funny, and the whole world is hearing us. And I want to be on record that they will see to the removal of this deceptive government by 2019. By February 15.
God, it is God. It is God. You are not God.
It's not. I'm not God, and you are not God too.
So I'm not living, and I'm not playing God.
You are playing God by telling me that I'm inconsequential. By telling me that I cannot win elections simply because I'm not a money bag.
Test that in Ife.
No, I'm not. You see, is a minister of my country that doesn't even know where I come from. I am not from Ife.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ondo State.
You are from Ondo State.
Yes. You don't even know where I come from.
Oh, how would I know if you were so?
And you are supposed to be the digital minister, analog thinking. The world is innovating every day. Things are changing, and we must change with time. And that is why I am running. We have to innovate. Like I said yesterday, I have disrupted the media space. It is time to disrupt the political space, and they will find out on February 14th, 15th, 16th, and particularly on May 29, 2019. By that time, the minister will be called the former minister of the Federal Republic.
Now, one would become a former one day.
Yes, now.
But at least I've been a minister for 2.5 years of the potential of 180 million.
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Yes, they haven't been able to finish Lagos-Ibadan highway for 3 years. The conversation will continue in the courtroom where they will be facing prosecution. They will be all of them will be prosecuted to the fullest heavy weight of the law.
Indefatigable Omoyele Sowore, who is going to be speaking. I think it's the citizen journalist. Yeah, the citizen as journalist and researcher, breaking corruption scandals in Nigeria from home and abroad. Omoyele Sowore, please welcome with a round of applause.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Professor, for doing what professors do. Talk a lot of sense into students when they are sitting. I want to welcome everybody, and again, my name is Omoyele Sowore, and I'm the publisher of SaharaReporters.com. Let me explain to you, we started what Professor was describing to you here today some 10 years ago. How did we start? There's a guy named James Ibori, who was the governor of Delta State, that we'd been monitoring when we started our website, SaharaReporters.com. And we monitored and found out I had a $2.8 million apartment or house in London here. But he was living in a gated community. And we couldn't figure out how to get to the house. And Kayode Ogundamisi was sitting there, was in London at that time. I called him up and said, Kayode, how do we find out what is in this house that Ibori had? And he said, well, I don't know what to do, but we'll try. So he took a camera, went there, and he had to make some moves. Some of them will not reveal here today to you, and got into the house and met Ibori's mother-in-law in the house. And I think he pretended to be a mechanic and went to the garage, pulled up the garage door, and there was a Bentley sitting down there that has never been driven before. So we were the first to blow the whistle on Ibori, and we followed through until he eventually came and spent some time here in jail, some 13 years. I don't know how you do your jail calendar over here. In 6 years, he was back in Nigeria. But it wasn't Ibori's people that got me angry about how he was received back in Nigeria. It was the head of the State Security Services, DGSS, who said publicly, after meeting with Ibori, that our son had returned back home. And that's DGSS appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari, who gracefully brought Ibori back home. In fact, if you saw the picture of Ibori when he arrived home, there were policemen, Nigerian policemen, jubilating upon his arrival to his house in a place called Ogara in Delta State. So I'm saying all these things not to poo-poo what Professor is saying, but to say that there are internal contradictions within the Buhari's regime's fight against corruption that makes you sometimes want to puke, that makes you feel that there's a lot of unseriousness or incompetence in the government. And of course, as you know, I guess after Buhari came to power in 2015 and saw how much had been looted, he himself became sick and had been in this country, in the UK now, for almost 90 days, with his jet parked somewhere in Stansted Airport, accruing about £4,000 every day in parking fees. He has not disclosed to us his ailment, and we know that that is costing Nigerians a lot of money. To also say that over time, using social media, using modern technology, we have been blowing the cover of corrupt people in Nigeria almost single-handedly with a number of citizens. As a matter of fact, we had found out as of 2005 that Nigeria's current Senate president had a $4 million house here in London as well, that had a golden door knob to it. We went there, took the pictures. Nothing was done about him. There were monies that he looted from a bank known as Societe Generale Bank and transferred again to the UK through the normal channels that you guys get money from, and purchased a lot of properties here. What did they do with him? They rewarded him with the number 3 position in Nigeria. He's Nigeria's Senate president today. We found houses bought by a former governor of Edo State. His name is Lucky Igbeneghu. Lucky Igbeneghu used beneficial owner to buy his house. In fact, it took us almost a month to figure out the owner of that house. It was when they were throwing away mail out of the house where we had been laying siege for several months that we found a gym membership that had his name, because otherwise he didn't buy the house in his original name. When Lucky Igbeneghu was caught in Nigeria and punished, he was fined 3 million naira, to the extent that he felt that it was so ridiculous he went to the trunk of his car and paid the judge right there the fine. That was the punishment that Lucky Igbeneghu had. Of course, nothing else was taken away from him. You can imagine the toad who had, if you see Lucky Igbeneghu, anybody knows him, that he's not even health conscious, to the extent that you would think that he will be a member of a gym. But they buy gym membership regardless. But there's another thing that is also very important that you should know, is that when you talk about how money is stolen out of Nigeria, it is not only in buying properties or buying cars or yachts alone. There's a lot of investment in the education of their children in this country. You can hardly go to a top UK university, or even nursery and primary school or high schools, that you do not find the children of Nigerian elites, thieves, investing a huge amount of money that they have stolen from children, public education and hospitals in Nigeria on their children. In fact, there's no Nigerian official, including President Buhari, who believes in Nigeria's education system. Buhari's children are going to school in this country. The Senate president just came and openly celebrated, the graduation of his son in Nigeria. He governed a state called Kwara for 8 years. They don't have a public university to which they can send their own children. In some cases, the kind of work we do forces the hand of government to take action against the corrupt elements in the society. And sometimes when they do, we also follow judges who are involved in criminal bribery to expose them, to ensure that somehow Nigerians get justice. But what is most important in what we do is an African culture that is known as public shaming. Because sometimes the only justice that the Nigerian people get against these criminals is the ability that we have developed to name and shame them across, particularly, social media. I used to laugh about something that when we write about these public officials, they don't care. They have become immune to, negative publicity or publication. In fact, most of them own all the major newspapers in Nigeria. But social media has done something that is psychologically powerful. When you write about them now, their children, friends in the universities where they send them around the world say, oh, I saw your dad's name. They say he's a thief in this country. And usually that is what is most painful to them. When they will call me to threaten me, which they do all the time, they say, if you had written about me, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't mind, but why would you write about me? And, my son just called me from London that they say I'm a thief. As Professor said, they say, but how much did I steal? Or sometimes they say, am I the only thief in the place? And my encouragement to them is that if you are not the only thief, tell us about the other thieves. And quite honestly, they whistleblow against themselves too. And they say, well, the house next to my house is also owned by another governor. So why is it that you're only talking about me? As you know, it is not only in the UK that they have houses. There's a favorite neighborhood near Washington, D.C. known as Potomac, where they also have choice properties. But these days, they are no longer buying properties too much in the UK or Europe. I guess Chinese money and Russian money is just too much for them to compete. They have moved to a place known as Dubai, where they buy huge amount of property, and those places you actually can't track them. Or they go to China. And I said to myself, if you give me a Chinese bank account, I cannot translate it. That's if there's one at all. So we have to develop other means of even translating sometimes bank accounts, finding and ensuring that all of this is exposed thoroughly. I will tell you, sometimes it's very painful when you see some of these cases that are being talked about now. We have been tracking Desiani from the first day she became the Minister of Petroleum Resources. Not only were we tracking her, we were exposing some of her dalliances with some of these young people, because a lot of them are also romantic. She was romantically linked with our former president. We said it. We put it out on social media. And sometimes people say, well, you are disclosing too much about these people's lives. But today, you have heard that everything we've told you, both in pieces or in well-written long-form stories, have become true, to the extent that we can almost disclose today that Desiani, by herself, might have stolen almost $50 billion. It's not all the money that they steal that are invested in real estate. The biggest part of it is also invested in elections. Because the biggest business in Nigeria, the biggest industry, is public office. So anybody who wants to become successful in Nigeria will go after public office. And in getting public office, you have to have a huge war chest. And huge war chest allows you to bribe election officials, police. It allows you to carry out assassinations of your opponents whenever you want and get away with it. And then allows you to grab power. And when you grab power in Nigeria, power is power, as you can imagine in the rawest form. You own not only the streets, you own the church, because the pastors are praying and praising God in your name. In fact, you can design your own God, such that that particular God, the Christian God or the Muslim God in Nigeria, does not even see your corruption, even though he's an over-powerful, all-encompassing God that punishes at the slightest provocation. The God in Nigeria does not punish the rich, because they are designer gods designed by their pastors or imams. So this is why Nigeria is such a very, very powerful place for corrupt people. Power is concentrated too much in the hands of a few individuals. And the same thing goes for wealth. To the extent that when you talk about the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, for example, the EFCC in Nigeria, which is trying its best, the body has been emasculated, crushed by these powerful people, to the extent that the chairman of the EFCC is more afraid of lawmakers who are criminals. We did a small thing recently about Nigerian governors who were formerly governors, who are now in the Nigerian Senate, who had corruption cases. If the EFCC were to walk into the Nigerian Senate and pick out all the corrupt people, there will be nobody left in our Senate. That's the truth. All of them, because the Senate had become the retirement home for corrupt former governors. If you just walk into the place and arrest everybody who has committed a crime, there will be nobody left at the Senate except the security guard at the place. It's the home of some of the most corrupt criminals in the world. And in doing the kind of work we do, we have to appeal to not only people in government and shaming them, but there's also a very laborious education process for young people in the country. The concept of wealth for young people in Nigeria is so difficult that even after we're done with all the criminals and jail them, you have to do a whole reorientation and re-education of young people. Young people have come to believe in instantaneous wealth. And they don't believe anymore in hard work, because there's nobody in the last 20 years in Nigeria that have come into real wealth who has worked for it. And I'm saying it openly here, and you can just show me one. You can mention, the richest woman in Nigeria, who was a hairdresser, who got an oil block dashed to her. Is that hard work? Or the one who says is the biggest billionaire in Nigeria, who live off of, not paying custom, not paying taxes, granted land wherever he wanted, sold to public institutions that belong to the rest of us for peanuts. Those are not people who have worked hard for wealth, but those are the people that the young people believe in. For you to do a great movie in Nigeria, you have to get a house in Ikoyi that is owned by somebody who didn't work for the house. And when somebody sees the movie, it's like, wow, this is a great house. But nobody asks, who's the owner of the house? Interestingly, the owners of the house are given credit at the end of the movie, if you pay attention. And sometimes that's where we get some of our own investigation from, credits of movies. I don't watch Nigerian movies, but I watch the credit. Just like I used to read a newspaper made in the UK known as Ovation magazine. I hated it, but it was the first place where we found all the houses that were bought, with corrupt proceeds in the UK, because the governors used to love to come here, call Dele Momodu to come to their house. They'll do parties, and we'll see the address there. And the next day, we'll buy from the land registry in the UK those property information. Most of the property information you have now, I purchased them personally from the land registry in the UK, which is very easy to do, but it made me broke for a while. Because I just kept, sometimes, we just kept buying and buying property information, and we look at it. And it's very difficult because they were using, as you know, beneficial owners to purchase so many of these properties. But, when it comes to Nigerians, even if they buy a house in another person's name, we are so loud that somehow we will let you know that the house belongs to us. Because we are going to come to your neighborhood and have a big party and have everybody wear their big boo-boo and drive nice cars, and somehow you know that the house belongs to a Nigerian man. And we get information from our brothers and sisters across the world in telling us how this has been. What is interesting, and you must know, I don't want to spend too much of your time, is that if Nigeria were to be run the right way, if the Commonwealth was not looted with the kind of impunity and wickedness that's been happening in the last 50 years, Nigeria could have been one of the best countries in the world. There's enough money in Nigeria. It hurts me badly when I hear people in the US or Europeans talking about, we give you aid, every year. What they call aid is peanuts. I don't think that the UK had given Nigeria up to $1.5 billion in the last 5 years in aid. I don't think so. But it's such a big deal. But you have a woman who is currently in the UK, Desiani, who had stolen just that amount from 4 oil exporting companies. Just 4. We're not talking about several other ways that she has squandered money or had frittered money away from the country, or had mismanaged and embezzled. And she's not the only thief, by the way. I agree with whomever said that there's a lot of them, including the former president and his wife, who shamelessly went to court to defend money that they caught with her, and she couldn't explain how it was. Not only was she shameless in doing that, they would send people to the court every other week that the case came up, well dressed, to support her, a solidarity group. She had the effrontery recently to attend an anti-corruption book launch in Abuja, where this is true, where she was part of the high table of people launching this book on anti-corruption. Of course, the book was written by one of the most corrupt senators in Nigeria, named Dino Melaye. That's probably some of you don't know him, but I'm assuming that we are talking likely to a Nigerian audience here. So the question is, Prof, you mentioned that a lot has been done and there's not been scandal in this government. I disagree with you. It is your government that the secretary to the government cut grass somewhere in the north with millions of dollars. I think 200 million just to clear grass. And you also made another presentation here that I want to dispute, that illegal recruitment. In fact, Sahara reporters found out that the Buhari regime had the central bank governor illegally recruit children of all the top government officials. And we brought out all their names and nothing was done. Why am I saying that? Just also to challenge you on the fact that a lot of the scandals in this government that were brought out or had been reported, nothing had been done about them. In fact, we can safely say that, and we are frustrated to say so, that there's a special group of people within the government who enjoy immunity and protection from searchlight by the government agencies. I like your group because you're not afraid to speak. Professor Sage is my favorite. I read him all the time. But I think there's a disconnect between what your group says in the public and what the government itself does internally. We had a governor who is from the north who was caught with 500 million naira from the bailout funds that were given recently. He also reportedly has a $3 million hotel that he's building in Lagos. But guess what? He was one of the people selected to come and meet the president who's on medical vacation in the US. That's the governor of Zamfara. So when you have criminals like that who are currently in government and you provide them the kind of access that they have to the president. In fact, we heard at the point that he was almost getting married to the daughter of Mr. Buhari. You are sending the society a wrong signal that you encourage criminals like this to hobnob with the head of state, who you guys have always claimed is a claimer. Nobody knows that because up to today, your presidency hasn't disclosed his assets publicly to us, even though he promised to do this. But as you can imagine, people, if I want to start counting to you here, so many of these scandals that we have found, even in the government of the day, we will be here till tomorrow and will still not be able to end this. But let me say that I have a little position on the whistleblower policy of the government. I don't think that even if people bring wrong information, they should be prosecuted the way they are being prosecuted. And I also think it's wrong to put the whistleblower unit in the Federal Ministry of Finance. That is like asking cats to be guarding, rats. The most corrupt ministry in Nigeria is the Federal Ministry of Finance. So if the Federal Minister of Finance is stealing, what would the whistleblowers do to go to the whistleblower unit in her, in her ministry and say, look, madam, you are stealing, and we found out. What do you think the whistleblowers there will do? That case would never be treated. So the whistleblower unit should be a separate and independent entity of government that is not even controlled by the president or anyone. Let it be a very, very well protected independent entity. You can't put a whistleblower unit in the Federal Ministry of Finance. That doesn't make sense as far as I'm concerned. All of Nigeria's money is stolen mostly through the Federal Ministry of Finance. So it doesn't make any logical or legal sense to place the most important revelation unit in that place. I come from a country where things go missing a lot. In the last 50 years, we've lost some $500 billion from oil revenues, sometimes ships, airplanes. And even at the time, our president went missing in Saudi Arabia for 5 months. It is the reason why my favorite musician, Fela Anikulapo Kuti, refers to my country, Nigeria, as BBC. Not BBC News, but Big Blind Country. But some events happened, as you must have heard, in April. First, Nigeria's economy was recalculated, rebased, and recalibrated to become the first and the biggest economy in Africa, surpassing South Africa. And in Nigeria, anytime we have little good news, we go out to party. So Nigerian officials, apart from orchestrating this news as global news, sent out invitation letters for everybody to come to Abuja to party about our new economic milestone. But as the invitation letters were going out, events have a way of smashing up against each other. A group of militants arrived at a secondary school in North eastern Nigeria, in a place called Chibok. Went to the school where students were taking final exams and abducted over 250 girls. The Nigerian government, unwilling to deal with this rude interruption of the party in progress, said, well, the abductions were carried out as a result of, there's some epileptic power supply affecting my microphone. So unwilling to deal with this rude interruption, of course, the Nigerian government said this abduction was concocted to disrupt the party in progress. That is the celebration of our mathematical milestone. And of course, some people even said it was meant to taint the reputation of the Nigerian president, Goodluck Jonathan. So it fell upon those of us in the social media sector, new reporters, to report accurately that these girls didn't been abducted because the military had issued out a memo that the girls had been released. This is how the situation of Nigeria has been, because some 15 years after the end of military rule, a once vibrant Nigeria media had compromised itself to the point that it lends itself as mercenary to the corrupt and authoritarian causes in Nigeria. That was why in 2006, I started Sahara Reporters as a citizens media platform. And the idea is very simple, is to use everybody who is willing to liberate themselves from the clutches of a media that went into remission by itself to report news instantaneously and accurately in a way that empowers them. So what did we do? We decided that we'll let the world know what's happening out of Nigeria with the girls. And the reporting we did at that time forced the condition of the girls that had been abducted, who, by the way, are still in abduction as we speak, to be recognized as a primetime event around the world, and brought about tons of hashtag that is now known as Bring Back Our Girls. The girls have not been found, but we were able to force the global community to focus on their condition, and hopefully we will find them. And what does this tell us? It is to make people understand that the power of the media has shifted. The narrative of telling the stories, of the context of stories in different parts of the world, in countries around the world, especially in Africa, has shifted by way of the work we do. And regardless of what anybody tells you, citizen journalism works, because you probably have seen the mainstream media people saying, no, citizen journalism doesn't work. An example is the man behind me. His name is James Onanefe Ibori. He used to be a cashier at Wikis in London and had been involved in petty stealing, but somehow he was able to forge a new passport and went back to Nigeria and found himself politically in power again after he left London. And with finding himself in power, a thief never stops stealing. They just graduate. So he looted the economy of the state, one of Nigeria's richest oil states known as Delta State. And with that, he was able to go back to the same London and buy pricey properties. He bought luxurious cars, even bought a private jet, and had the jet delivered by 2 weeks late because he wanted iPod jacks installed on every seat. He wanted to capture his own technological moment. That's how thieves are. And with that, before he could get this Bombardier jet delivered to him, the asset had been frozen by a London court. Ibori is sitting today in jail in the UK, sentenced 13 years to jail because of efforts of citizen reporters like us. How did that happen? It was because a Nigerian citizen who works with us went to his garage in London and found a Bentley sitting down there, never having been driven, took a picture of it, and that gave the whole country the connection between the corruption that has been ravaging and bringing poverty to them and what Mr. Ibori did. All right? But the sad part, and this is what is important, is that while Mr. Ibori is sitting down in jail in London or somewhere in UK, the banks that helped him loot the economy of his state were not sanctioned or punished. People ask me also about a situation in Nigeria recently where one of our ministers raided the treasury of an aviation agency and bought 2 BMW cars, Beamer as you call them, armored car, for twice the price that he ought to have bought them for. And her efforts, well, must have contributed to the air crashes you hear about in Nigeria. But what happened? Somebody used a cell phone to take the pictures of the invoices and sent to us. We published it, and this woman was exposed. But her expose that led to a lot of campaigning in the country did not lead us anywhere until we found out that she has an MBA on her CV in a university in the US that did not exist. And she also has a PhD from another university in the US that had closed down. Eventually, street protests, legislative inquiries forced President Goodluck Jonathan to fire Ms. Odu. And it's the first time in a long time that anybody was fired for corruption in Nigeria. It happened in this year, February. We also do other things, like monitoring election. In 2007, we obtained the results of the presidential election 24 hours before the election held. It's only in Nigeria that that can happen. Right? So, other questions that people ask me is, how do you verify your information? How do you decide which news to publish? And how are you sure that your breaking news will not be wrong? I'll tell you that all of it is based on community. We have an army of citizen journalists who are using devices that are available to them to change the way business is done, and that provides instantaneous evidence. And I tell you that the kind of journalism we do has given Africa at least 2 revolutions in Tunisia and Egypt, and a near revolution in Nigeria where in 2012, Nigerians rose up against the government in what we call Occupy Nigeria. That struggle, Occupy Nigeria, led to the arrest and prosecution of the oil cabal that has been stealing oil subsidies made for ordinary people. By 2012, they had stolen $6.8 billion worth of oil subsidy. And Occupy Nigeria forced the Nigeria president to arrest and start to prosecute them. Don't ask me where the prosecution went, but we did our part. And we do such mundane things as following the president around and ensuring that we know the size of his delegation to the United Nations, which is the biggest in the world. We help to expose police corruption, police brutality, and we do so using photos, text, and videos interactively to empower people. And I must say something to you, that one of the things that bedevils reporting about Africa is how Africa is portrayed. And you know, Africa has become a victim of this caricature portrayal in the international media. And people ask me the same question. In reporting corruption, are you not also portraying Africa in a flattering way? And the answer is very simple, that Africa has a reality that we must deal with. And it includes good and bad things. And what this moment has given us, a technological moment where people can use their devices to report it. What I'm saying is that Africans should take control of telling their own stories. And it is up to them how they tell their own stories, whether it is good or it is bad. And I'll say one last thing to all of you, that internet is the best thing that has happened to humanity in recent times. But just like every innovation, internet is going through 3 stages. It's gone through almost completed the stage of innovation. It is now going through almost completely the stage of imitation. And you must use it to further your democratic purposes before it goes through the last stage, when the idiots will try to burn it down. Thank you for listening. That the journalists cannot legitimately do their job in this country in 2018 is a disgrace. But we understand why. It was because this country made a mistake in 2015 to vote for somebody who does not believe in press freedom. Yes. And who, even after he's sick in London, still doesn't believe in press freedom. We have said it that if Buhari doesn't leave Nigeria alone, Nigeria will leave Buhari alone in 2019. But I'm also here to send a memo to the police that the new commander-in-chief is coming into town next year who will no longer tolerate police excesses. And I've told them, yes, we are not going to tolerate the abuse of human rights under our government, and we are not going to tolerate an uncoordinated and incompetent and a police force without capacity to deal with even simple matters, such as understanding that a journalist has a right to publish a story and refuse to disclose his source, whether he's detained, tortured, or even at the point of death. The people they should be arresting are the Yahoo politicians. Yes. But they are the ones that they are protecting as we speak now. An average Nigerian governor who is a major thief is protected by over 200 policemen. I'm telling you. Yes, that is the official number that we know. Some of them have soldiers, they have naval officers, they have civil defense, they even have private militias.
According to what you've been told, that my speech will be the best here today, you'll be disappointed. I am very sick. And I mean it, I'm sick and tired of this country. Yes. Very sick. And, but I'll start with a small story. And this happened between me and a fella who wrote to me last week. We went to see Professor Omoyele, and he called us into a small room in Ikeja. And he told us how he met Atiku. You know, I like to name names, right? And he said to Atiku, so Atiku is sitting across from him, and he asked Atiku, what is it that you have fresh to offer Nigeria? He said Atiku looked at him and said, I have some things. I'm a good person, I do some nice things. The other time I opened my university when there were refugees running away. He said, Prof, that's very good. I'm asking you, what is it you will do differently if you're president of Nigeria that you couldn't do when you were vice president for 8 years? Atiku couldn't answer. And they said to him, if you have anything to offer Nigeria since you've been born, and the thing cannot be transferred to the younger generation of Nigerians, that means that idea is useless. He said after he left him, Atiku and his entourage, including Benga Daniel, couldn't take pictures with him. So that event was not known to the public until today that I'm talking to you. Because they had to leave Soyinka with their tail in between their legs. Of course, the moment they saw that Soyinka could not be fooled, they went to that man in Ota. Yes, who is always speaking from both sides of his mouth. The dishonest, unpatriotic, inhuman Obasanjo. And asked him, well, Baba, with all the traditional rulers doing their normal roles, religious leaders, both Muslim and Christians, and said, you have to forgive Atiku because Atiku is coming back to be president of Nigeria. The usual unpatriotic, inhuman, and wicked Obasanjo invited Atiku to his house and told us that he has not forgiven Atiku. The same Atiku, he claimed that God will not pardon him if he ever recommended to be president of Nigeria. He recommended again to go and destroy Nigeria. And I said somewhere on air last week, you know, I'm not going to speak too much about Africa's history. I teach post-colonial African history in a university in New York for 8 years. There's nothing there. He said to him, I said at that program that if it is true that there is God, and God doesn't punish Obasanjo this time around, so many of us will stop going to church. That's the truth. Because the truth is that wherever God is, He doesn't preside over the affairs of Nigerians anymore. They have redesigned their own God. Their God don't get angry anymore. The God that supervises over Nigeria is always very humble and nice to oppressors. He looked around, went back in his car and left, and never came back to perform that night. When we saw him later, he said, of course, he has the only contract in the world which says that after you pay him, he's not under any obligation to perform. That's the life for him. But he taught me in 1992 something I never knew. I knew, but I had to be taught the hard way, that you have to be in charge of your destiny at all times. And Fela was a man who was in charge of his own destiny. But I went to do my youth corps service in Yola, Adamawa State in 1995. When I got there, walking to a radio station, Radio Nigeria, the only thing on the wall, the only notice from the Ministry of Information is that under no circumstance should you play Fela Anikulapo Kuti's music in this studio. And that was how it was across Nigeria. Why did I say that? Sometimes we don't celebrate our own. We don't celebrate the contributions that we have made at different times in this country. And that is why I think they don't teach history anymore. Because if we had history in our curriculum, somebody would have taught our children that Obasanjo is a bad person. Yes. Somebody would have taught our children that Babangida is a thief. Yes. Somebody would have taught our children and our brothers that Atiku was the custom officer who made it by stealing and robbery. Somebody would have taught our children that Buhari is a useless man.
And lifeless also. Yes. And lifeless. Let them know.
We didn't need Donald Trump to tell us that Buhari is lifeless. But here we are in 2008. There is a debate as to who to choose between the worst and the baddest. Yes. And we are all here still romanticizing about what Nigeria should be in the future. Let me tell you, Nigeria has got no future with these guys. That's the truth. We have no future because people who destroy your past cannot guarantee you any future. But it's important also not to forget that, when people talk about the history of Nigeria, in the way they understand it, they forget to mention that at every point in time, Nigeria always had a problem of leadership. And at every point in time, somebody or a group of people always intervened to take Nigeria out of the doldrums. And number one person who did on his own was Fela Kuti. And that is why his name that he adopted for himself, Anikulapo Kuti, is true to today. The man passed on, but he refused to die in Nigeria. So, as I'm standing in front of you today, and I'm telling you a little bit of my history with Fela, some few years ago, in New York, a friend of mine, Omoyele, called me and said they are looking for someone to act as Fela. That is, there was going to be a show called Fela on Broadway. And I couldn't think of anybody else than myself. So I presented myself. I presented myself to audition to act that role. And there's a reason I will never sing here today. My voice was so bad. Even though my mannerism was exactly like his own, that the guy said, please stop. We'll see you next time. I didn't do it because I thought I could be Fela on Broadway. But there was something he was that I wanted to be. I wanted to be the first black president on the continent of Africa. Because Fela would have been the best black president we have had. But because our country is always rejecting its best and going for his worst, we didn't appreciate Fela when he was alive. Some of you sitting here, probably your parents scolded you before for listening to his music. Some of you were ostracized for going to the shrine. Some of you were rejected at home because they said you are too Fela Sofika. That is the kind of country we are. But coming to where there are people in this country, young people, who are always intervened. And we should not forget them. Some young people in this country intervene to drive the military out of power. Yes. There's a man who didn't come here today. I heard he bailed out, Donald Duke. I would have loved to meet him and just remind him that in 1997, or was it thereabout, he was one of the people who was chanting that Abacha must remain in power. When we were, Donald Duke was part of the Abacha must stay people. And when we were younger, in our 20s, we fought to drive the Abachas out of power. Comfort, who was former president of NAS, is sitting across from here, female. They fought to drive Abacha out of power. We fought to drive Babangida out of power. In 84 days, we drove Shonekan out of power when he legally cornered the position meant for MKO Abiola. But nobody is studying us in history books. We are studying criminals. We are praising criminals. Even some of our presidential candidates and aspirants, they look down on us. They look down on our sacrifices in this country. They talk down on us because the only Nigeria they know is the Nigeria that talks down on people. The only Nigeria they came to experience is the Nigeria that denigrates its young and youth. Someone asked me when I started running, and I've never told this answer before. He said, where will you have the experience from to be president of Nigeria? You know the usual thing. And my answer was very cutly. How do I get experience when I've never been allowed to do anything in my life by the useless leaders who you claim have experience? It's the same question I was asked when I once applied for scholarship. I think it was one of the oil companies in Nigeria. They came to an area in Ilaje Seldo when it was called and said they wanted first-class students. Of course, I went there, knowing my nature. They said, what's your class in the university? I said, I have, I'm between second class upper at that time, then I dropped to second class lower. You know, activism, how it affects you. And then he said, but we are looking for first-class students to come for the scholarship. And I told them, if you pollute our water so bad, you pollute our air so well, how do people breathe this air, drink this water, and have first class? It's the same thing for Nigeria. How do you go through so much oppression, denigration, and disgrace by elders such that you are asked for experience? How do you get experience when you've never had a job in your life after graduating from the university? Whichever experience we had to form it ourselves. Whichever jobs we ever had, we had to create those jobs ourselves. And look at people running Nigeria. There are people who have never even invented a broom in their lives. Some of them cannot tie their shoelaces. Even the umbrella that they use as their logo, some of them cannot carry it over their head when it is raining or the sunshine. So where do you expect us to gain experience from? But the truth is that we have better experience than they do. We have experience fighting for what is right for 30 years in this country. We have experience and a lot of uncelebrated laurels underneath our belt fighting successive military rulers. We have experience fighting the people fella called international thieves in this country. You know that we have moved from international thieves into global robbers, GRs. Because what they were stealing when fella was angry, they no longer steal those things. Those were days of 10% that they collect from contracts. Now, after they are mobilized, they disappear. In fact, in some cases, to get remobilized again, they will come and destroy the road that they were contracted to build. We are living in a country of contractors without builders. And the country you are seeing today, this country, Nigeria, this is the country of their dream. The country without roads, the country without hospitals, the country without schools, is the country of the dreams of the Babangidas of this world, is the country of the dream of the Obasanjos of this world, or the Abubakars of and the Buharis of this world. And I would say, those who are using overtake, don't overtake. No. We should change and upgrade that to overrun, don't overrun. They have overrun our lives. And the solution, people, is the revolution. That's right. We are not going anywhere without adding a revolutionary favor to this next election. If any one of you is still under the illusion that these old baggers, as we call them, we hand over power voluntarily to us, we are deceiving ourselves. Any one of us under the illusion that the plastic card that is referred to as the permanent voter's card will guarantee you a transfer of power from one generation to the other, you are wasting your time. Because why? That card is already on Alibaba. They figured out where they cannot control the card. They figured out how to withdraw the card from circulation. Most of Lagos now, they have these cards in their possession. And when election day comes, they will be the ones in control of the cards. Of course, a few of you might vote, but your votes will not count because it has been designed to fail from the beginning. And I'm saying to you, if we won very early, we might actually win the battle before the war. And what is the battle? It's a battle of minds. There's no question about it. A lot of young people are confused. And you cannot blame them. If all you have had your entire life is being battered and badgered and disgraced and denigrated, you will have no self-esteem. And you will not have the ability to even challenge your oppressors, because most young people in Nigeria don't even know their oppressors. The people who are the oppressors are their role models. That is why you find out that most Nigerian young people are more comfortable with younger musicians who are singing about things that have no relevance to their lives, as opposed to musicians who are singing consciously about the socio-political conditions of our country. So, I could stand here telling you that, well, these people are old, that's the problem. It is true that they are old. That is what they call gerontocracy. But there are also a lot of young people in the system who are morons. And they are practicing what I call morontocracy. And the combination of these young people and the old people is the reason why Nigeria is in the condition it is today. Each time you find a Buhari, you will find a Yahya Bello somewhere. The people that gathered in Abuja for the 2 million man march were all young people for Abacha. The people who likely pushed for third term in this country were young people in their 30s. Right? People who were there saying that Jonathan have no rights to become the president of Nigeria when Yar'Adua was dying. They were young people. In fact, the person who was Speaker of the House of Reps at that time, Dimeji Bankole, was perhaps the youngest of our generation. And he did everything to frustrate Jonathan coming to power. You know, my sister just said that, you know, this is the worst government we have. I agree with her. But it's a progression, because Nigeria has been in a situation that it is today. The last government is always better than the next. But that don't mean that the worst, in fact, if you ask me which is the worst government, it hasn't come yet. It's coming next year if we vote for Buhari or Atiku. That will be the worst government you will have, because both of them have unfinished business with Nigeria. Atiku was not happy that he didn't steal enough when he was with Obasanjo, that he didn't get enough licenses for university, maybe he didn't get enough oil blocks for himself, and he didn't probably marry enough wives. So when they return, they are coming with vengeance. Vengeance on our resources, vengeance on our people. Atiku is coming back to create a paradise for thieves. And you can see the people who are excited about him. There are other people who stole, who didn't steal enough last time, or people who are aspiring to become thieves, including young people. The same thing with Buhari. If Buhari returns this year, he will take away all forms of pretense about human rights, about his support for Islamic extremism, about his respect for your farms. He will take it off, because at that time you have nothing at stake. But the truth is this, and I'll say that finally, that it is untrue that there are no young people who can take this country to the next level. You know, a lot of young people are out there who can do fantastic things. But I also agree with the people who have said it, that it's not enough to be young. You must have a young people who is willing to confront these monsters. Our moderator here said it, that maybe if Niger Republic gets it right, we'll be able to destroy the monster of Boko Haram. I disagree with him. The biggest monster that created Boko Haram is the leadership of Nigeria. And the moment Nigeria gets it right, every other country that is suffering right now, we have no option than to get it right. Nigeria is going to become the next sheriff in town. Let me give you an example. Cameroonian activists walked into this country to fight Paul Biya. They were arrested in Abuja, detained, and sent back to Cameroon to be killed by Paul Biya, by Buhari's government. If Nigeria were to be a country of conscientious people, those guys will be helping them to put an end to the misery in Cameroon. But the opposite of it is that with what we are doing here, because of the kind of useless leadership we have, Cameroon is going to become another burden to us, the same way Niger became a burden to us, the same way Chad became a burden to us. Every time there is a useless African dictator, Nigeria is always part of the people propping them up. Nigeria is part of the leadership that is propping up the Boy Scouts in Togo, who has been killing his people. They bring him to Abuja to come and have useless negotiations because Nigeria never wants other countries to progress because Nigeria is not progressing. So this is where we have a problem. But I don't think it's a problem anymore because now you have clear alternatives. Clear alternatives. You have a chance to either go the route of where we are, where we're coming from, or you have a chance to try something brand new. I would say lastly, it is not everything that is looking brand new that is original, right? So many of the things we are saying now that is glittering is also not gold. But you know, as Fela said in one of his songs, that this uprising will bring out the beast. Thank you very much.
Our people of Warri, we don't come but our own different from the people we know before. We be another political party where they known as AAC. Now fresh new political party, and I may be the presidential candidate, and our governorship candidate be this. As I reach here, when I listen, I hear say they ask me for money. But make I tell you now, the money where they give you now, the money where they steal from you now they give you small. But the one where we want bring now prosperity, so that people for this country will feel they enjoy. So that when I go feel send our children go school, go better hospital, make una feel enjoy like other people they enjoy all over the world. Make una get salary where una supposed to get when una dey work. AAC, take it back. Warri, Bosa, Warri people know they carry lasso. And we know say better thing won't happen for Nigeria now. Warri people first they open eye. Now so. And then they first see am. Now so. When everybody for Nigeria no understand the problem of the Niger Delta, now from Warri now it starts. Now so. They open everybody eye. Yes so. Now when we get political problem, where we they get old people, where we they recycle every year. Yeah. Every 4 years, Warri people will come here and say, "We open eye, make una help us change Nigeria." Yes so. We now vote for our new political party. Yeah. AAC, African Action Congress. The party where they see road, party where know what they go on, party where won't send Buhari go back in village, the one where won't send Atiku go back in village. All the armed robbers where they are alive, we won't send them out of our political system. So that Nigerians will feel they enjoy good things of life. We don't suffer rich, I be alive. And now we feel una pain. We dey here, we want 3-year-old boy where I carry for hand. I carry him. I carry him because I want guarantee him in future. Wow. Because then we don't destroy our own past. We're not going to let them destroy the future of our children. Now make us come out. And as you see, we love una and we just say una love us.
Yes, sir.
Because our mumu don't do for this country. All the thieves don't destroy this country. And what they do for election time? Yes. Yes. I mean, hold the pikin make as you see, what they don't do us, don't bad so right now, we don't fit take another 4 years of the nonsense where they give us before. We want to change our country. We want to take our country back. We want to take our education back. We want to take our economy back. We want to take our road back. We want to take our environment back. As Atiku the contest, waiting the only thing we talk, he won't sell an NPC. If you sell an NPC, then we say don't sell our own papa property with that. We will allow make it happen. When Buhari come, not the only Boko Haram day, they come add Hesman join now. When I go vote for her, make Hesman come kill everybody where they here. The thing where we want plan be say anybody wey young for this country, your future they guarantee with our party. If you go school, we go give you study allowance because you deserve them. We no one get country where lazy senators they get 30 million naira per month, but students don't fit get student grants. Nothing get scholarship. We won't get country where we say people sick, they fit go hospital. We pass one market before we get here. We see all our old women, some of them get eye problem. You say that they suffer. This suffering don't tire us. I mean, we won't continue to suffer. No! Anybody they here where they like the way we they suffer. No! And the problem where we can't get all these old men where we they recycle every 4 years. Now them destroy this country. We not feel they reward them with more promotion. At least we will not there for Edo State where they say make lucky we then don't repeat class because he failed class. Anybody will fail, make a leave road for, make a clear road for Jaga Jaga. Our Nigerian people are worried people. Our party, we won't win the election next year. For 2019, now AAC. Now headsmen go take over everywhere for this warrior.
And we don't want them.
We don't want that one. Now poverty now will kill people for this country, and we don't want them. Now ignorance go kill us, so we don't want them. We want make worry be like Amsterdam from Netherlands. Make it day beautiful, make electricity day because we want to provide electricity. Make free education day. So that our children will go to school. Our sister here say won't ask one thing. I beg, ask us.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
He just made a statement that he wants free education to Nigeria students. I'm a student from Del Super and
wow.
So they said free education. Most of our lecturers used to say that this school we are attending, we are not paying school fees, but we are paying the sum of 30-something thousand in each semester. So I want to ask now, sir. Today now, let's say you now become the president of Nigeria. Will the school fees reduce? Because most of our students, even me, I've not even paid my own school fees as I'm talking to you. We're having the challenge of high cost of payment of school fees.
Yes. Thank you so much. Well, maybe a clap for our greatest Nigerian student. I love your courage. Me, when they talk to you, I'll be student union president before for the University of Lagos. I fought against school fees. The time when they go to school now, 45 naira be our school fees. Accommodation at 19 naira. Even at that, my papa no fit afford that. So, not be only say, I go make sure say, you no pay school fees, I go to give you a study allowance of 100,000 naira. Make you look my eye well. So you can quote me because this is on record and everybody is watching this all over the world. Our administration will give students where they go, whether they go state university or federal university. As a student, you are verified as a student, you will get a study allowance of 100,000 per semester. I would rather spend that money on students so that they can concentrate on their studies and take this country to the greatest level. Now make I spend them on lazy senators. we don't do anything for us, or make they spend our governors, where they use them as a security vote. So your future is guaranteed with us. Go back and convince other members of DELSU, your student union government. Every student there say, you don't meet person wey promise, real promise. This will not be the kind APC change, because that one has chicken change. And we are changing that change from next year. This is the government that is for the future of every young person in Nigeria. But don't be only young person we dey for our mama them. We go give them anything when they need. People where they trade, they will get small business loans. We get low interest rates. You will get access to stores. But beyond that, you will get health card in this country. When we say everybody wey sick, you just go carry the health card, they go treat you. It don't happen for this country before. When Delta Day for Bendel, there was free health care, there was free education. Our roads were, some of the roads where they see now, they built them in 1979. But what they happen for Delta? Every 4 years now they vote for thieves. What you not expect? They go steal our money now. It is time to stop voting for armed robbers. We want to vote for people who get character. That's what we are here, and that's what AAC is about. Our governorship candidate for Delta Day here. This is Frank Esanubi. Now he be our governorship candidate, and now he go take this Delta. He don't talk him, and I will give him a microphone. Say he won't even pass. I say anybody will graduate from university after you don't graduate, we don't give you 100,000 per semester. Instead of make you go to ride Okada or Keke, he say go give you 1 million naira to start business. Tell them. Free school. And not be say we go give na free school alone. We go, if na send na children go university, we go give them allowance so they go study. Now they hear am so. Our party, now see the logo, now 2 hands. But I show them the hands of our party. Now the party do this. In day number 3 for ballot paper. Now the party make una vote for. Not be APC, that one Association of Poverty Creators. Not be PDP. PDP na papa they deceive pikin. But na vote for AAC. 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 Governor dey here, the person wey wan be governor of Delta State. So now una no go dey vote for thief for Delta. Now no one vote for Buhari again. No. Now Buhari destroy this country. Now Atiku them destroy this country. As now they hear me so, make una no vote for Buhari again. No. Now Buhari will destroy this country. Now Buhari will bring poverty come this country. Make una no vote for Atiku. Now Atiku them with Obasanjo destroy this country. Una vote for young person wey get brain, wey get fresh ideas, so that this country can become a great country in our lifetime. Una know for una wey don old well. You know, say since wey Buhari don dey for Nigeria, he don come this market before. Since wey Atiku be vice president, he don come this market before. Now we wey fit feel una pain because our papa and mama dey like una. Now so wey my mama dey sell, in fact she still get store for Ondo State for market like this. And I want make una comot from inside poverty. Our party wan abolish poverty for this country. The stress wey una dey go through is too much. Una remember say one time for this country when Ambrose Ali be governor for Bendel. Oh Bendel, where's our microphone? Una dey get free education, not be true. Una dey get free health care, not be true. Now the thing where we want bring back and even do them better, so that our children go fit go school. May they become doctors, become lawyers, come out from this poverty una dey. Because so, if you give Buhari another 20 years, you no fit come worry. If he come now, if you say 5 ambulance day and air ambulance must dey for airport, we will carry out go London, go do I think could not fit come campaign for this place. Like all these people, apart from the fact say they get mental problem, they also get physical problem. They're sick. Because leader we don't get mental problem. Nothing they do with our leaders they do to us for this country. Now they hear me so? Because when we dey hear sometimes they will tell us say maybe we dey arrogant or we don't respect elders. How you go respect elders we don't respect themselves? Not be respect, they beget respect. How you feel destroy somebody, take our country back, and we are not looking back. AAC! Take it back! AAC! Take it back! Action! Take it back! Action! We nothing take this country back without taking action. And the action we want to take, now to use our PVC, permanent voters card. Bring them out so that we can take and vote out all these enemies of our progress for this nation. Come February 16, 2019, now we will drive Buhari, come up, make it go back to Daura. We don't travel, go everywhere. We even go in hometown, say, go tell the people, say, maybe they prepare the ground for their papa, grandpa, maybe they come back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? National anthem has been sung by Nigerians in this hall. With love and strength and faith, the day of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with all our might, one nation bounding freedom, peace and unity. Fellow Nigerians, we have been disrespected tonight and not given the chance and the respect we deserve by a minister who came late to an event scheduled for 6 p.m. She's coming out about an hour, 30 minutes later, trying to tell us some nonsense about there was delayed in flights. No, we are not going to take this anymore. We have been taking this line down for a long time. It's been happening since 1960. We are not going to take this anymore. And we refuse. Wait. No. We are not going to wait. We are not going to wait. We are not going to wait. Don't advise me. No. We are not going to wait. We are not going to wait. We are no longer 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 going to wait. What you doing? We are going to. What you doing? We are shutting down this event. We are no longer going to wait. What you doing? We are no longer going to wait. No more waiting. No more. We are tired of waiting. 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 No more. Give them. Let them shoot me. Let no give. Nothing to do. No more. This nonsense. Enough is enough. No more. No. It's him. No. This nonsense should stop. Let's stop. This nonsense. We are not doing this event tonight. Based on what now? Based on the fact that you people have abused us for too long. We don't want to take it no more. We want change. Let everybody go home. No. Let everybody go home. Let's go home. Yes. Let's go home. Let everybody go home. Go home. Let everybody go home. Let everybody go home. Let's go home. Let's go home. everybody go home. Let's go home. Let's go home. Let everybody go home. Nothing to say. We are going home. Let us go back home. She won't go home. She will go home. She will go. She will go home. She will go home tonight. I'm telling you. We go home. No, she will go home. For 1 minute. You are going home. You are going back to Nigeria. Go back to your job. No, leave me. No. How will you give a message to Nigeria? You know me. I'm a message to Nigeria now. No. Take the message. Okay, we have come. Yes. Shebi, when she looks at the job, Shebi will have no job. I know. Not at all. You see, you send them on TV. No. Let's go. What do you want? What do you want? It's over. This event. Let it go home. Go home. Let it go home. Go home, madam. Let her go to her house. I'm very disappointed in you. Oh yeah, you should be. You should be. I am more disappointed in you than I am disappointed in you. If you have told me this, let's declare it close. No, you are supposed to be with us if you have conscience. But I'm telling you. You know what? I'm telling you. Yes. You are. He's calling you. No. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Come back. Talk to him. Talk to him and come and talk to me. Talk to him and come and talk to me. Don't touch me. It's a new generation. This generation. You can talk to me without touching me. He has to start today. I'm not taking any nonsense anymore. Let them come and arrest me. They deport me back. You can put me in jail or kill me when I get back home. I don't care. I'm tired of taking this nonsense. 50 years, misgovernance, town hall meeting, corruption for NNPC, killing of innocent Nigerians. 50 years now. Haircut. Where do you get a haircut, man? It's nice. We are not overcoming anything, no. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Today. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome today. We must overcome today. Madam, you are a good singer. You are a good singer. Yes.
I did not need value.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Yes. Yes.
With what has happened today.
No, nothing has happened. No, we haven't overcome yet. No. 65 or nothing. When you revert to 65, we are overcome. When you stop corruption, we have overcome. Yes, when you stop corruption, we shall overcome. When you go and revive the 20 people you killed last week, we shall overcome. Yes. Where there's no true Nigeria here. No true Nigeria.
Thank you, my dear.
The true Nigerians are the ones that don't accept nonsense. You killed 20 people last week in peaceful protest. You are coming to do town hall meeting in America, the home of civil rights, and you think we are stupid?
Okay, you are just talking about civil rights.
Yes.
Martin
and our right
was never.
I'm not Martin Luther King.
Okay.
I'm Sowore, Omoyele. I refuse to be bamboozled. Yes, I refuse to be used as a footmat. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our right. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our right. Water run away, me I. Water run away, me I. You. Aye, aye. Water run away, me I. Water run away, me I. Water run away, me I. Aye, aye. Water run away, me I. When I remember Nigeria, water run away, me I. Aye, aye. Water run away, me I. When I remember Nepal, water run away, me I do. Aye, aye. Water run away, me I. When I I remember town hall, water run away me ayo. Aye, aye, water run away me aye. Water run away me aye. Water run away me ayo. Aye, aye, water run away. Aluta continua. Aluta continua. Aluta continua. Aluta, aluta, hey, aluta, hey, aluta continua. Victoria, Victoria, Asata. Victoria, Victoria, Asata. Victoria, Victoria, hey, Victoria, hey, Victoria, Asata. Aluta. How's it going?
Are you in charge?
Huh?
Are you in charge?
No, it's a protest.
I understand that. Who's in charge?
All of us.
All you are in charge. May we speak to you in private?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you. Please follow us, folks. We'll explain what's going
It's
on.
corruption in Nigeria.
Okay.
These are a bunch of corrupt public officials.
And they've come to the US to waste scarce resources. People are dying in Nigeria.
They killed 20 people
live
last
on
week.
poverty in Nigeria. You're wasting money. The minister in Chicago last week, she refused to
wasting
stay in
money.
the hotel she was booking.
Yes.
She wants a bigger hotel. Shame on you.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Book, let's go.
I want to have a peaceful dialogue with you guys.
No problem.
Please.
We understand. Yes, it's a peaceful civil disobedience. Peaceful civil disobedience. Shame on you, Minister.
Shame on you, Minister.
Yes.
It's a peaceful...
No, don't worry. Don't worry.
Thank you for being peaceful. Unfortunately, the man who paid for this room, or whatever paid the rent, doesn't want you guys in there. And we're asking you guys. Did you guys say what you had to say?
Can we say one more thing before we go?
In there?
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise it.
Because we're going to get a jacket.
You're going to get your jackets?
Yeah, and the bags.
It's just for you guys?
Yeah. No, there are more of us.
There's more of you guys in there?
We'll get them out now. We'll get them out.
All right, folks.
Thank you so much.
But what's your name? What's your name, by the way? No.
Maybe if we can send 2 people to get the jackets, so we don't have any more problems. But nobody knows who these jackets are, right? I have your word.
We're going to pass a message.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There must be change. There must be change. There must be change. There must be change. Ole, bastards.
We are coming back to free Nigeria.
Where's my jacket?
My jacket is over. Thank you very much.
Over here.
Honorable Consul General is going.
There's no Honorable Consul General. Stop it. Stop that nonsense.
We have no time. We have no time between now and 2019 to waste. But I can tell you something, that we have already achieved victory. And I can guarantee you that this movement is not just here in Ibadan. It's all over the world. When the people of the United States of America had the same kind of problem you had today, they went to Philadelphia and had what they called the Declaration of Independence. That was how they chased the British kings away from their lives. It is the reason why today, when the English people use kilometers, the Americans will use miles. They change even their standard of measurement. And that's the same thing that we are going to do. When the people of Nigeria wanted independence, they have headed to Ibadan today. And we are going to achieve that independence. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Don't clap for me. This is not the time for jokes. It's not the time for adulation. It's a time for us to get very serious, because we have a battle ahead of us. I'm not going to deceive you. These guys are not going to leave power on their own volition. We have been fighting them for 30 years. We have been engaging them. Now is the time to disrupt the system and take it down. It is up to them to choose where they want to be spanked in this fight. It's up to them to choose to live peacefully.
When you say disruption, you scare us.
It's not scaring anybody. I am a digitalist. And when you talk about disruption, it's actually a computer language. There is a computer word or terminology known as wicked. It's called wicked problem. And what is a wicked problem? They said the wicked problem is not necessarily something that is evil.
It is something that is resistant to solution. And the Nigerian state and their operators are not necessarily, actually a lot of them are cowards. Yes. And they are afraid of their shadows as we speak, but they are a little bit resistant to the kind of solution you have been giving them, which is engagement. What is engagement? Every time they come around, they say, well, they make promises, they beg you, they give you bread, 500 naira, they make some promises to you, and you vote for them. That is engagement.
And read for them.
You read for them. You beat people for them. You kill for them. And that is engagement. Disruption is that we change that order. That instead of those of us in the majority always running away from them, being afraid of them, allowing them to steal our commonwealth and loot, we now become the ones who are on the run away from us. That is what disruption is about. When I started Sahara Reporters 12 years ago, I wanted to disrupt the Nigerian media. Edmond Opilo here you got to give it to him, please. Clap for him for a second, please. Journalism has become a part of media. Journalists are people who write in journals. The way the world works today is such that every journalist has to be part of media. Why do I say that? The biggest media company in the world today is a disruptor. Do you know it? Facebook. Facebook became the biggest media company in the world.
So can I call you a disruptor?
I have disrupted the media space. I'm now here to disrupt the political space. And I want to say something very quickly, Ebilo. I want to say something very quickly. Yes, about people who talk about experience. They say it all the time with glee. You know the problem? Nigerian young people, we have to empathize with them. Their self-esteem has been destroyed and battered over the years. Yes. They've been told that they are not good for anything. They've been told in schools that they can't pass their exams. They are given advice in hospitals. After you go to hospital 3 times, a doctor refers you to a pastor. You are not living. You are dead. And the battery of that self-esteem is the reason why a lot of them have internalized the inferiority complex that they cannot be president of the country. It's also a conversation about class and disrespect. That because I'm not the son of a thief, I am not qualified to be Nigeria's president because I don't have the experience as a thief.
But you are a village boy.
I am a village boy. I came from the village and I've seen the world.
Hey. What was it like growing up in that village?
I grew up with nothing, but I'm not here to tell you a village story. We are all now in prison, and we have to get out of prison.
Did you have shoes?
I didn't have shoes, but I had self-esteem, I had integrity, and I had dignity.
You know, there is something about him. He's got guts. Huge guts.
I wanted to leave a legacy at the University of Lagos that I could sacrifice my life to protect others who needed a future. I have brought myself again out, and this is very instructive. Listen to it. They're going to come after me. There's no question about it. But it is too late now. Like Martin Luther King said, I have been to the mountain top. And I've seen the promised land. It doesn't matter what happened to me now. We will make sure that we get you there by taking it back.
Nothing will happen.
I'm not worried about it. What is important and what matters now to me is how you get your dignity back. It's how you get your children to go to school that offers education. It's how you can have infrastructure. It took us about 2 hours to get from between Lagos and Ibadan today. Half of the road infrastructure was impassable, right? It has taken them 18 years just to refurbish Lagos-Ibadan highway. It's taken them several more years to put security together so that you are guaranteed of sleep at night. You don't have electricity. It is by design. This is the only country in the world where we pay for darkness. $16 billion was spent to improve the darkness of Nigeria.
under the man in Ota who is organizing a third force. Whether they're the first force, second force, third force, fourth force, all of the forces will be on the run in 2019. And I want to make a quick promise to you that we are looking at solving this problem through what we call Spicer. Our campaign is going to be spicing up our lives. I will deal with security first, right? And after security, we will have power. I mean electrical power through the mix of solar energy, coal, hydroelectricity improvements, gas-fired turbines. We'll put light in every corner of this country. It is possible. All we need to do is to be investing the money that has been stolen to improve darkness on getting us power. Infrastructure, I've said it, I want to put young people to work and turn this country into a construction site because we need 20 million housing units. Look, Nigeria's best resource is not oil. Oil is lazy economy. It is people. 180 million people. Have you heard in China about ghost cities? These are houses and apartments that have been built by Chinese people to last forever. They have not been occupied. It is the Chinese people that built it. Have you ever heard about China? Do you know of any resource in China? Have you ever heard that China had oil or gold or copper? No. We only talk about the Chinese person. And we have a chance now to talk about the Nigerian person. And Nigeria is about to conquer the world. We are going to, of course, deal with corruption, not the way they are dealing with it now. And I can tell you specifically how. Have you heard that they have a list that they are playing around with these days, right? Luther's list. But ask yourself, those of you in the Southwest, how come Obadi Koro is not on that list? Because the moment you join the APC, they will deodorize you. If you are not in APC, they will criminalize you. Right? E is economy. We got to put the Nigerian economy back on international map. And again, through the hard work of his people. I'm not breaking them down, I'm just giving you the acronym today. Now, right? And of course, health is very important. But before health is that we want to restructure this country. And don't get me wrong, I am not part of those people preaching restructuring for the old people. Because the old people have been restructuring Nigeria into their pockets forever and ever. They've been doing it since they were born. I'm sorry, I don't hate old people because Wole Soyinka is old and I love him. But I do not respect old people who capitalize and prey on young people, deny them of their future, and then come around when they lose money or they lose power to talk about restructuring. If Nigeria wanted to be restructured by people like our father or your father, Olufalaye, he would not have accepted 100 million naira from Jonathan. All those traditional rulers who were pocketing monies that could have been used to build schools, bridges and roads. They can't teach me restructuring. They are not interested in Nigeria that is restructured in your interest. The restructuring of Nigeria has to take an economic form first of empowerment. And secondly, after we are done with that, we have to do away with the constitution that was created by the military. We cannot claim that the constitution of Nigeria today claims that we the people. Were you part of the people that wrote the constitution? Did you vote for the constitution? So why is anybody imposing that on me to restructure Nigeria with? Of course, we are going to do health and education. I come back to that. May you never be a PhD holder that has to drive a truck for Dangote. Amen. Right? Amen. And that is what we have been doing. Somebody was asking how come Dangote's company do not produce billionaires or millionaires like him. They are not designed to do that. If a company's job is to hire PhD holders to be driving trucks, it doesn't want the PhD holder to become self-sufficient. And it is the reason why I proposed that we will merge our minimum wage to a level that is called living wage. So that the salaries, which is 18,000 naira, that is paid to workers in this country, will not become what Yoruba people call salary. You know, go and see it, because it will never take you home. Nothing, and I say nothing, and I say this unapologetically, prevents Nigeria from paying 100,000 naira minimum wage to its workers. Even that is insulting, because in Mauritius, the minimum wage for people who are doing factory work is $536 per month. In Nigeria, it's $46.9 per month. And I see a lot of Facebook economists saying that it will cause inflation. Well, I say, Father, forgive them, because they don't know what they are saying. The inflation that is not caused when some senators are collecting 13 million naira a month for doing nothing, it didn't cause inflation. When Desiani and Kola Aloko stole $3 billion, which the VP of Nigeria certified a few days ago, it didn't cause inflation. When Mrs. Jonathan started opening all these accounts, 5 million here, 10 million there, 50 million here, it didn't cause inflation. But when you say that that money should be given to our workers so that they can send their children to school, so that they can buy medicine, that they can ride, they can have dignity, they say it's going to cause inflation.
Wow, thank you. Can you give Sowore a round of applause? The conversation has just started.
So, I am not making promises. What we have calculated is that it will only cost Nigeria just $1.3 billion more to pay workers 100,000. I am not into labels, and I don't want to be labeled in such a way that it takes away from the message that we have to give right now. Nigeria is sick, right? It needs a doctor. Whatever ideology you call that is what I am. Nigeria needs a future that can be guaranteed to its children. Whatever ideology will deliver that, you call me that. You see, all these ideologies that we are banding around, they were ideologies that were developed by other countries when they had problems and they wanted to solve them. By the time we are done with Nigeria, our own ideology will emerge and will be adopted by everybody around the world. That is my promise.
Actually, the election in Nigeria is not won in Lagos. Election in Nigeria is won in Kano, in Rivers. Those are the states that bring in millions and millions of votes. What structure do you have in place to win election in those areas?
So far, I have been to 30 states in this federation, and everywhere we went, not only did we meet structures that existed before we arrived there, they were consolidated after we left, right? What we found out, including what you call structure, they are shadowy superstructures of corruption that corrupts the electorates. But real people want the country to go in a different direction. And we have met with them. We are the only ones, I'm the only presidential aspirant and now candidate who goes around the country talking to people, touching them, asking them questions, asking them to ask me questions. You can't find other candidates doing that. So they don't have any structure, they have money they stole from us that is going to be redistributed to electorates, and that's what they call structure. That's no structure. Just told you that they don't have structures. They steal money and send people after the various wards to steal ballot papers, ballot boxes, remove from people PVC before election, hide them and use it on election day. Now, those are not structures. Those are, ways of manipulating the electoral process. Are you going to tell me that it was structures that won the election in Osun State? Was it structures that won the election in Ekiti State? It was see and buy. So do you call that structure? Can we proudly be conversing or discussing around those kind of structures? They were not structures. If they had structures, they didn't need to bribe people. Yes. That's the truth. They don't need to rig. They don't need to ask people to come and collect money or pay them at the polling units. It's because they don't have structures.
Thank you!
Here's a new song I want to spring on y'all tonight. Take it home where you spread it around. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. That's what election day is all about. And the biggest gun we got is called the ballot box. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. And when they're gone, we'll sing and dance and shout. And she'll bring some new ones in, and they will start the show again. And if you don't like who's in there, vote them out. And if it's a bunch of clowns you voted in, election day is coming around again. And if you don't like it now, you can change it anyhow. And if you don't like who's in there, vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. we'll sing and dance and shout. We'll start the show again and bring some new ones in. And if you don't like who's in there, vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. And when we're done, we'll sing and dance and shout. Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. And when we're done, we'll sing and dance and shout.